Hi, this is Viceroy.
And this is Saskiot. And we're here because we want to reach out to our friends at Square-Enix.
We're also here to say that, even though you didn't pick us for the alpha, we harbor no hard feelings.
We've only been paying for our accounts for the last 2 years.
Not to mention 9 years of devoted service to your previous MMO.
But don't think we're counting.
We want to assure you that if you choose us for the beta, it's not as if you're going to be choosing two strangers. It'd be like you're choosing people who are like family.
Family members that you like.
Family members who never get mad. Like the kinds who never get mad that they weren't chosen for the alpha test. And we can promise you that we'll even find vulnerabilities in the game's infrastructure.
We can also promise that we won't cook any lalafels.
You cook lalafels?
Don't you?
No.
It's the same as cooking taru in 11.
You cooked taru?
Yeah, they're magically delicious. So anyway, please know that we're available at your disposal immediately.
But don't feel like we're trying to influence your decision in any way.
Yes, and we keep coming back for more. And that's the definition of family.
Well said.
Thank you. So, the ball's in your court. We're here alone and waiting.
Want to go to Chipotle?
Yeah, sure, let's go.
Wait, no, stop, no, knock it off. I'm sorry, I need to go.
What do you mean you need to go?
I'm sorry, I can't really say. I just need to go. I need to be somewhere, and people are depending on me. I need to go. I'm sorry. I can't do this right now.
Go where?
We're not even started yet. What do you mean you gotta go?
You interrupt the opening and you say you have to leave? Where are you going?
That doesn't really matter. I mean, what do you need me for anyway? What are you guys doing that's so damn important that you need me anyway?
You're part of the show, so...
Or you were part of the show.
Well, don't be like that. I'm sure you can do one show without me. I need to make sure that there's an Eorzea for you to go back to.
What do you mean by that?
What does that mean?
What I'm saying is I'm fighting my ass off here, trying to find every little thing that could be out of place or wrong, or I'm just making sure that whenever you guys come back, it's going to be fine. Trust me, it's going to be fine.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, he's not saying what he's saying. No. There's.
Are you implying what I think you're implying?
There's no way. No way.
I'm in the all right? I'm in the I'm in the
You dirty Mithra imitation.
Oh my god. No.
You see that? He's going to choke.
This is serious, you guys. I'm trying my best.
How does it get... Whose ass did you have to kiss?
Kissing?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying
so you
anything.
Did.
I'm not saying anything without my lawyer present.
Your lawyer present?
Listen, I seriously need to go. I am fighting my ass off here.
No,
seriously.
Yeah. You do need to go.
No, wait, no.
No, you gotta go. Ah! The fuck out of here.
No!
Okay, wait. He's always bragging about how much he loves Sunie Day. Sunie Day arrives, and he takes off on us. What the hell?
He's a fucking asshole. Who does he think he is?
Okay, so what are we gonna do now? Just pick up a random guy off the street or something?
I could just call some random person over Skype.
That'll do. They'll be able to do the job. It's not that hard.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Like Amarant here.
Hey, Am. Okay, so... Long story short...
Found a replacement that quickly.
Yeah. Sunie left. You're here to fill the void.
Sounds good.
Are you up to the task?
I think so. I haven't backed down from anything yet that you've thrown my way.
Well, what is this? This is episode 7. I'm gonna stop counting at some point.
We'll just say it's episode... whatever.
Episode whatever. What I want to know is, first off, it's been 2 weeks since we lost our beloved game, and how are we all holding up?
Well, after the shakes, the shivers, the cold sweats, reactivated 11 an hour later.
It feels a lot longer than it has been.
Yeah, you know what? It does feel like it's been more than 2 weeks.
Well, I suppose it's because
it's about a month.
I suppose it's because the save date was a month ago, but we still got time to play
Right.
after.
So it was like, why would you play after?
Yeah.
We did, but it was like, why would you, you know? Because
Well-
we didn't accomplish anything after that.
Getting a relic from your bed was quite nice.
Yeah, somebody told me about that on the last day.
That bed's gonna be very lonely when I get back.
But I really wanted to get the bow for my bard, and I got pretty much nearly every relic bar that. That was really annoying.
No, I find it funny. I go in hoping to get the sword, the shield. No, I get the monk weapon. And here's Vice on a level 50 monk.
Yeah, and you couldn't give it to me.
Yeah,
I got the relic axe and the relic lance. That was all I got.
Lance looked nice.
The lance did look nice. But, no, we're back for episode 7. I am Viceroy Dragonmeyer, joined by...
Saskiot over here as always.
and the new voice for
Amarant.
today.
Horror.
I'm going to ask the obvious question. Tell us about yourself.
I live in the UK. Played Final Fantasy pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
Studying sports and exercise science at uni. Snowboard, because I'm a cool kid. And do motocross as well. And apart from that, there's not really much else.
Where did you get a pearl to the shell? Because I have no idea. Not that I don't mind, but...
I think I was looking for a pearl on 14.
Mhm.
And I saw the chocobo.
You were shouting?
No, I was looking online as well, and I saw the chocobo night forum, and Zetsugan had a post on there, and I went in game, and just randomly tried sending him a tell to see if he was on. Lo and behold, he was on. Met me at Camp Drybone, I believe, and from there on, it's just been one big train of fun.
Well, see, that was the weird thing, because I started the shell, I went to work one day, came home, and the next thing I knew, there were like maybe 15 or 20 new people in the shell. I was like,
I remember that.
who are all these people, and where did they come from? And Z was like handing out pearls left and right. And he's like, oh, they think I'm the leader of the shell, man.
Yeah, I remember
like, my shell.
you came to me asking me if I was giving out pearls. Who the hell was I giving out pearls to?
And then, just when I thought, I had a handle on who everybody was, somebody else came on later that night, some guy named, Ivan, and he goes, hey, guys. I'm like, now who the hell's that?
Yeah, I made that stupid little pun, how terrible it is. You don't know who Ivan is and everybody else in the link shell.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I made bad jokes, but I think you kind of take the cake.
Yeah.
But I presume that we all sent our, applications into the alpha. and I know that the alpha is going very well. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for, the new version to get it, because I just can't, listening to the music and playing Halo 4 or Assassin's Creed 2, 3, it's just not filling that void.
Yeah.
Did you send a application in for alpha?
Oh, sure I did.
They're sending out another wave of invites, so I heard.
No, I'm just sitting there waiting for them to reach out to me.
Praying every day.
They're going to IM me on Skype and say, hey! I'm going to get a direct message from Yoshi P himself.
He's going to hand deliver your invitation.
Exactly. His next letter is just going to be addressed to all of us.
There you go.
Just members of Chocobo Knights. I summon you.
But yeah, they said the new slew of invites to Monday? Tomorrow? Tomorrow being the 3rd?
Maybe. I'm not sure on the date. I just knew they're sending out a new wave.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow what's going on Twitter, but I don't even know how accurate most of it is. So.
Yeah, you never know anymore.
But I really want to get in there. I haven't seen anything. Just from what they've posted on the official YouTube page.
Is 11 not filling the void in the meantime?
11 never fills a void.
Yeah, it's way too easy now.
How can you even say that? Does 11 fill the void?
Well,
I tried to play it again, and you know how disastrous it was.
Yeah.
You're running around West Ronfair, and you're hitting the M key, waiting for the map to come up. We're doing Fields of Valor, and I'm looking for the mini-map pointing me in the direction of where I have to go, and I'm like, this is not working.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't realize how well you knew the game until they take it away.
Yeah, I still hit M key for map as well.
Yeah, and it's like, that's when I kind of because I attempted a new character. And that's when I kind of realized, really, that game is very unforgiving in the early days. It's really a pain in the ass to level.
Yeah, I'm leveling some new jobs on it in the meantime.
And I just totally forget how to do everything, pretty much. I was like, I can't do this anymore, so I stopped. I just wanted to see if I could.
One of the worst things is I keep going to log out, and I'm like, no, wait, I can't log out, I'm not in my in-room.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wait, wrong game.
Yeah.
No, I did that too. I was in Port June, and I was getting ready to log, and I was like, oh, I should go back to my Mog House and laugh, because this is not 14.
Oh man.
I did it many times.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't be leveling anything new on 11 anyway. So it's like, why do I need rusted XP?
Yeah, I caught myself doing that.
Yeah. I was doing the same thing when 14 came out. I was trying to do things from 11 and 14. I mean, even up until the last day in 14, I was still doing see all.
I don't know why that command's not in. It would be so helpful.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know, can they just put that in?
I mean,
somebody said
searching would be a lot easier.
And they were like, oh, they used to have that in 14. And I was like, no, they didn't. They never had that in 14.
Yeah.
It would be so easy to have some simple commands there.
Yeah. In the very early days, it's like, no, they never had that.
Yeah, it'd be...
You used to be able to tell how many people were on the game, but I guess now they didn't want to do that because it might have been embarrassing to see how many people were actually playing.
Yeah.
I do wonder if we actually cracked 1,000 on our server.
I never know.
I mean, there was no way to tell.
Did Square-Enix ever release any figures for server numbers?
No, I don't believe so.
No, I doubt they would, because the numbers were probably high at first, but then all of a sudden plummeted. What?
Yeah. Well, it used to tell you, in the early, there was some kind of search function during the first few weeks, and it would actually, or it might have just been the beta, I'm not sure, but it did tell you how many people were on the game, or on the server anyway. I remember that very specifically, and they got rid of it after that.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, though, at the end of it, it wasn't bad. if they'd have released it as it was at the end, it probably wouldn't have flopped so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still looking forward to it being made even better.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sort of glad that it did flop, because if it didn't, I don't think we'd have what was coming.
Yeah, pretty much they wouldn't have gone in with all the development that they did to make it as enjoyable as it was before.
Right. That kind of pushed them to really turn it into what is going to become A Realm Reborn. Yeah. So, in a sense, I'm very glad that that's taking place.
So, going back to how your link shell exploded overnight, guys, did you have a shell on 11 at all?
We had a shell for a couple of years. The shell started back in either 06 or 07, I forget the actual date, and the name at the time was Knights of the Chocobo. And its formation is sort of weird, because I just had met a bunch of people who were all in a shell, and the shell that we were in wasn't really working out, and we sort of jumped shells as a group a couple times, and every time we did, that shell would fall apart. Not because of us, just the leader sucked. So we decided that we needed to kind of do our own shell, so I stepped up and said, okay, I'll make it, and this is right before Wings of the Goddess came out, so it was 07. And for some reason, I thought the artwork seemed to suggest that Chocobo Knight was being added to the game, and somebody had told me all about what that job was, and I was just completely fascinated by the job, and I thought it was awesome, and I said, that'd be a really good name for a link shell. I couldn't get it, obviously, so I just decided to turn it into Knights of the Chocobo.
Oh, right.
So, my earliest members were probably, I think here, Betsmaru, Jaredin, White Mist, Baracus, Halidar.
Did someone say Halidar?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
that's how.
Hey.
It's just, you say somebody's name and they just show up.
It's the magic of Skype.
Yeah.
It's a beacon. If I say their name, they just show up.
It's like the Batman symbol, but for Chocobo Knights.
There they go. So Halidar,
for me.
So Halidar, Asmodia.
Sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you. I didn't hear the trumpets or the rock solo or anything.
Yeah.
We're crying out loud.
Jeez.
So, who else? Come on, name some names.
Elisen?
Oh, that one didn't work. Damn it.
Crickets. I feel like I can be the voice of God here. Pyros. Shiro.
It's not working,
Yunaspirit.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Meanie.
Oh, motherfucker. Oh, I'm so grumpy.
Got the right to shoot the shot.
The fuck you guys want? Fuck out of here. I hate you all. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
Right, that's good. Now come raise your
Amarant.
father.
To answer your question, Amarant, there they are. Some of them, anyway.
Yeah. The ones that matter, because they bother to show up.
Right. Saskiot was sort of like an unofficial member, because even though he came into Skype calls with us all the time, he was never on Odin with us. He was just dragged into Skype calls all the time. Which, by the way, Sass, I need to ask you. Now, you and I met at FanFest. Yes. Now, I didn't know you before then. You didn't know me. So, exactly how did I get your Skype information? How did we get our Skype information after that?
Eridon.
I thought so.
I somehow met Eridon, saw him at FanFest.
Right.
Him and Tam, too.
Right.
And then you were sharing a room with Eridon, and that's how it all happened. And we had that horrible, horrible night that shall not be mentioned.
Right.
Is that the same night where all the dicks hang out, or what?
And I have that...
No.
I may have to show it again, because I showed it before. I have that amazing picture of you that I took.
Yeah.
Don't you love where this is going? That I took.
Yeah, that picture.
But since there's really nothing new to report on 14, because anybody who can read and can see can easily go to the Lodestone website or any other website or Twitter and read the updates. I think it's best to kind of go back to 11 for today with some of the people here who just made the experience so awesome.
Well, unfortunately, like you said, I wasn't on the server with you guys. I was only able to hear it, so that was a disembodied voice.
So, I guess I'm trying to, think back to all this stuff. So, Asmo, how did you join? Because I don't even know.
By accident. Was that a nice Chocobo? I don't actually remember. That's incredibly scary. I think, I met you guys with the Limit Break Radio Skype cast. I knew Frice before then. And I think I just kind of met you guys through that. And I think, because I kind of linkshell bounced a bit, and I actually think it was, like, I think I talked to you beforehand. A bunch of my friends had, I know Elisen mentioned you guys. I think I must have come with Jaredin. Sorry, I said that wrong. Jaredin. And yeah, I don't know. I can't quite remember. I certainly joined Knights of the Chocobo before I hit 75 Warrior.
Right. I remember you wearing your Warrior AF, but your Hoppergen body. Your Hoppergen. Everything else is Warrior F. I remember that.
Oh, man, I remember those things.
I remember going into some of these TOEU fights. I got I favorited some of Pyrrhus' old delivery box videos.
Right.
From the TOEU fights. And I just think to myself, compared to how my Warrior looks, I'd like to say now, not anymore. He's about 10 levels out of date. But, then he was a pretty pimp Warrior. And then you look at the delivery box stuff and you just think, holy crap, surfer shorts and sandals with the turban. What the fuck was happening? And I can't honestly
the Barone pants,
remember
that's
the
right,
exact
the Barone
date.
shorts. Yeah. Well, because I remember that video you made of trying to prove a point with Jared and that you go in there as the level sync, you go in there as that BCNM and still wear your gear, because he didn't think the level sync was going to take effect or something like that. Or you wouldn't be able to wear your gear in the capped level sync, in the capped BCNM, excuse me.
Yeah, well, he never paid me that.
And you didn't at that point. And you owed you 10K.
Well,
and you were like, you were wrong. You owe me 10K.
I don't owe you anything. And he still owes it me. And he'd probably say, I'll go in the game and give you 10K. Truth be told, we talked about interest, and it's been a few years that interest is accrued.
Right. Yeah. I remember you ended that video by saying, my ass, kiss it.
He never did that either. A shame for comedy everywhere. But, his debt is now in the 7 figures.
Maybe he can pay you in 14.
No, I don't think he will, somehow.
Yeah, but would you take the kill reduction into account?
Even if the stars aligned and I did get to play 14, he wouldn't pay.
Now, Halidar joined via Elisen, as I recall?
Yes, I did, indeed.
Yeah. You and Pyrrhus? You were you two were like a couple or something?
Romance.
Nearly,
Romance?
in a way.
Yeah.
It was more of that I joined with, Elisen introduced me to you guys about 2007, the very end or the very beginning of 2008. And then about mid of that year, 2008, Pyrrhus started playing, and I introduced him to you guys.
Okay.
So, yeah.
See, the weird thing is, it's like, with a lot of the people who I still talk to, or those key people, it's like, I don't remember them joining anything. It's even happening in 14, as you probably heard me say, I don't know how Amarant joined.
It's magic.
It's like all these people who I kind of associate these amazing times with, I don't recall them joining at all.
You know what's really funny, Halidar, is that, when I first, I can't even remember when I first Skype talked with you, but it's like when you and Pyrrhus were in the same call, I couldn't tell who we were speaking. Your voices were just interchangeable.
Wow.
Well, we did go to school together. So,
we have somebody
it was
like that.
weird. You had
6 years old.
the same accents, you had the same ticks, you had the same inflections, It was odd. You even had the same heights and the same races in game, and it was like considering that so many of these Final Fantasy XI helmets like cover your entire head. You just think, which one's which now?
In 14 in our static, we have two people. They're in real life, they're brothers. In the game, they're both Taras. Frisky Pepper and Rowdy Pepper. Okay.
Okay.
When they come on Skype, I literally do not know who is who. They sound, and they're not twins. One's older than the other. To me, they sound exactly the same. I know Amarant. You may have met Rowdy. I don't think you met Frisky, but they sound exactly the same. And I'm like saying to Tyso, I said, I don't know who's who. I don't know which person is which. And like I could say, okay, who needed this fight? And like one of them says me, and I'm like, okay, was that Rowdy or Frisky? Because I don't know.
At least you're honest about it.
Well, I have no idea. They sound exactly, to me, exactly alike. I cannot differentiate one way or the other.
Did you ask them if they were twins?
I did, and they said no.
Interesting.
They're from the South. All people from the South sound the same. Don't they, Yuna?
No, we don't. But thank you for that awesome plugin.
Yeah, my last ex was from the South.
Eridon gave Yunaspirit a pro, from what I understand.
Oh,
I don't remember her joining either.
I want to say it was 2008.
Mm-hmm. The Apex, I think.
Yeah, and he and I were in the LBR shell, and he introduced me to your wonderful COP static videos, and I said, they're awesome, I want in, And he's like, okay, let me ask. He's like, okay, come get a pearl. I'm like, all right, where are you? Crawler's Nest. I'm like, oh, jeez, I don't have a map to the Crawler's Nest. Where are you?
I still don't.
He says, I'm somewhere down in the bottom, over to the left or the right or something. So,
yeah, that's helpful.
Exactly. So here I am. I'm not even 75, and I'm attempting to go down there and hunt down one person.
I'm in the secret room.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where the hell is the secret room? I don't even know. But I went down there and got the roll.
Secret to everybody.
And yeah, that was my grand entrance.
I got a message one day. I love that you mentioned COP videos I posted, because I once got a message on YouTube. I won't say his name. I don't remember his name. Where he said, I want to say thank you for these videos, because these... I got CXs by these videos. And I'm like, okay, there's something wrong here, because you through us, you used our shit as a strategy. There's something wrong.
Oh,
Did he try and duo the airship fight as well?
Oh my god.
Wow.
That was a fluke.
It's a pretty diehard fan.
Well, it's like, I'm like, seriously, dude. Like, I appreciate it, but come on, really? What could you even see anything on the screen in the 240p that the videos are uploaded in? I mean, how can you use that shit to move ahead on COP? I just don't understand. But speaking of which, if you guys are up for it, would like to... Is that a cat I hear in the background someplace?
Yeah.
Is there a Mithrite in somebody's house?
Saskiot's got one chained up.
So
yeah, she's hooked on the catnip.
Since some of you guys are here from the old shell, I thought maybe you'd want to go over some old adventures, sort of provide more of a recollection commentary than an actual live one like we used to do.
Oh, that sounds great.
Starting with My Little Pony from Hell.
Which one was that one? Oh, that was Ixion.
That was Ixion.
I don't think you guys know how embarrassed I am that this even exists.
Is it an honor?
Oh boy.
This should not even exist.
Right, let's see here. Where are we?
That's a voice I don't hear very often. Kelly.
Yeah, it's Callie, Yuna, and myself. This group that's doing this is actually Frice's group.
What a delightful little intro.
The music just doesn't fit it. Well, it kind of does. Yuna was obsessed, as I recall, with Ixion back then.
Well, so wait, which group is trying to take on Ixion?
I don't know the name of that shell. I don't recall, but Frice was in that group, and I think the three of us we were campaigning, obviously, from the
little sword icon.
Is that Jaredin in combat?
No, Jaredin was never that well geared.
Crystal. Yeah, and so what happened was Yuna kept running in front of Ixion. And how many times did you die?
7, 8 times, maybe.
What happened to Callie?
Oh, I have no idea. She's still around.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
There's Frice when his... Oh, that
see,
was a...
What I remember, I don't think it's in here, but you kept running in front of him and getting killed. And I don't know why. I don't even know how much XP you lost that day. But Frice kept sending me tells saying, "What is she doing?" I'm like, I have no clue. I said, if you don't mind, I just want to stand here and watch because I've never seen him before. He's like, oh, that's fine, but like you were just running in front of him and just letting yourself, you were just voluntarily killing yourself, and I don't understand why.
To be fair, when we first went out there, I did not know that his attacks could go outside of claim. Until it happened.
I think you learned that many times.
Yes, I did, but thank God for Race 3 and Race 3. I would have de-leveled. I really would have, and I came close, and I actually got it. Like, got the actual level down, the dong.
Oh, and Crystal Drake. This is when I recorded on Vista. This is what, look at that low frame rate.
I was thinking...
Oh, yeah, like, it's not so much, I am smooth riding horse, it's more like, clippity-cloppity, my little pony. I miss all of that gear. Like, I'm just looking at all of this stuff, and it's all 75 gear that I recognize, and I know all of the gear off the top of my head. Yeah. Like, I know the stats.
That's crap.
Yeah, like, I remember exactly. I have the Barone body on. I had no home on yet. Oh, man.
Oh, there's you getting almost one-shotted.
Pretty much. Don't be alarmed. The video does freeze, but it's not you. It's not you. It's me. It's my.
Yeah.
It's just how it was done. So.
I just think I miss that kind of gear layout. Now it's just a great big orgy of Moogles.
And I gotta say, I don't think Yuna knows this. Long after we jumped and went over to Hades and then Cerberus, I kept jokingly saying to everything, I'm like, it's an honor to die to this. It's an honor to die to that.
Jesus Christ, I knew that was coming.
To everything.
I think
Like, I got one-shotted by, like, a goblin. It's an honor to die to a goblin. And everybody else on that server who had no idea who you were just laughing so hard at that.
I think that's one of those periods where I had no sleep, and it was like, let's just go fucking do this. He's up. Yeah. Let's go. And I was just on a high. Like, I must be a sadist, masochist, or something. I was just gone.
No, you were gone.
Oh, I was gone. I was gone.
I know what the lack of sleep's like. I've been awake since Friday.
Exactly.
It's an honor not to get any sleep in a time like this.
I remember specifically, it's an honor to die to a forest hare. I mean, you know me. I just like push these things until they.
Yeah.
I beat dead horses.
My
Unlike that horse who
never
beat
the
you.
same after that.
That horse beat you down.
See, taken out of context, that could be terrible.
I mean, what are some of the most insane things from the time we all played that you all still laugh at? There's got to be something. Yeah. But like, it's not a specific event.
I remember there was one New Year's event that SE glitched. I think it was like for Year of the Rat. You had a bunch of kookaroons running by. You trade them stuff, and they give you snowmen for New Year's instead of Christmas. Then SE said, "Oh no, we're sorry. We released them too early. So either throw away your snowmen, or we'll just delete them." And everyone's like, "What the hell?"
I remember as a group doing a campaign. I think I may have this online, and I died multiple times, as I always did. And Asmo, you were there, and you got killed because you were gravitied, and you had dust gear on, and you couldn't get away. You were like, I have my dust gear on, but I can't run away.
Well, it was like, at that point in time, I had like dusk hands, dusk feet, and the dusk legs. And it was just like, oh my god, I'm so slow! Move! And it was, oh man, I've never experienced anything quite so painful. Not like, physically painful, but it's just like, you can see like the beast of death going dun dun dun, charging behind you. Yeah. And I was like, all I had to do was just like hit the macro button, hit the weapon skill gear macro, switch out into those, the gimp suit, and just waddle away. Not just go, no, my anus, and yeah.
My anus.
See, and we were talking about this on a previous one, and I'm glad that Halidar's here for this, because I need you to help us talk about that Lamia 13 run. God. With you, Sass, Tom 2, and myself.
God.
Otherwise, the rest of you don't know this. I mean, the rest of you guys who don't know this is fantastic. We did a Lamia 13 run, the Assault. I think that's what it was. There were like so many different Lamia numbers, I don't even know which one was which. But that's the one when you all get charmed, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the chip down.
Right. So it was like me as Blue Mage, Saskiot was Samurai, Tom 2 was White Mage as always, and you were Corsair?
Yes.
Something? And otherwise, like a fantastic setup. A fantastic, like how can you, so we ran out of time. We went in, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning my time, and you guys who were ahead of me in the time zone, it's even later.
Yeah.
Saskiot's behind. And I don't really recall what went wrong. Like, everything imaginable could have gone wrong. We had like an ideal setup for it, but it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And the best... we obviously did multiple runs. I think we did multiple runs, I'm not sure. But the thing that just sticks out in my mind was when it just wasn't working. Saskiot here disconnects. It was after we got kicked out, actually. Yeah. Saskiot here disconnects, and we get forced back into Whitegate. So we're just standing there on the arrival telepad, and then I see Saskiot materialize, and he's on the top. Remember, he had to walk up the flight of stairs, and he was on the top. And he rejoins our Skype call. He literally just gets back into the game after DCing like a second ago. Okay, he's completely out of the game. And he says, "What happened to the party?" And I just remember we just completely lost. We were sort of like, up until then we were kind of like giggling and laughing because it just wasn't going well. But like as soon as he said it, just completely broke all of us.
Yeah.
And I said, "Why are we laughing?" And then that's when Halidar was like, "I don't know." It was seriously like the sun was coming up, as I recall, on my end. It was that late.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been any. It could not be any easier.
I think the problem was just the spells getting resisted or something. But
no, it was also when I was walking on water and got trapped.
Oh my god!
We never had a lot of luck in Lamia 13 because we didn't have a lot of luck in Lamia 13 because there was that other time when we did it as a full group, and again, Tamtu's there. We all get charmed except for him. He's off to the side. May just have to stay away. We all get charmed, and all of a sudden, I just remember our Skype call just fell silent. It fell silent. Nobody in the game moved. Everyone was just at a standstill. I think he probably thought that he was DCing, maybe. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, we all turned to him, and I just hear, "Oh no." We all turned, weapons taken out to face him, and he's like, "Oh no."
See, all of the the terrible memories are coming back. There's one memory. We're all my COP static, not you guys. We had Yuna. Jesus, Shiro. Oh, who else was in there?
Yeah, and Crystal Dragon.
Yeah, that was it. Crystal Dragon, Chimeria. Wait a second, no, it was you, me, Chimeria, Shiro, Crystal Dragon.
Godsbane.
Who am I missing?
Godsbane.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the first proper.
Oh man.
I've got the videos to prove it.
The first proper fight we are against. Is it Oryu?
Yeah.
The big Earth Dragon, the bitch. And I just remember that we we get there, no problem whatsoever. And then Kim was saying, oh yeah, it's only the climb up's the bitch. We got here with no casualties. Everything's fine. And this is after me, running straight in front of a Marlboro 15 levels higher than all of us. And I'm just waddling, going whoop, 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 and it doesn't give a fuck. And we're just running past the thing, no one dies, it's all absolutely clean. Then we're sitting at the entrance of the Oryu fight, and we're all thinking, alright, okay, what's the plan? So we spend 15 minutes in detail trying to go through a plan. And I was like, right, we've got this, we know exactly what we're doing, but let's do a dry run first. We've all got fully charged re-raise earrings. What's the worst that could happen? So, we all get in IDC.
Never say that with us.
We all get in IDC straight away. So we say, okay, let's just exit the battle zone. We haven't lost anything. So I come back and I'm like, oh, I'm really, really sorry, guys. And then, God's Bane, that was it. And then we all went back in.
God's Bane.
Well, yeah, I couldn't remember. Anyway,
oh my
we all went inside, and then Godsbane starts DCing, and for fuck's sake, we go back in. And then, we decide that we have to. Godsbane can't Skype it because he's lagging so hard. So we're all going in. Godsbane's on silent, and
Must
then
have been from hosting that picture from his documents folder.
Sorry.
Go on.
I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
Must have been from hosting that image from his documents folder, but go on. Carry on.
There's Godsbane starts DCing again, and I'm thinking, oh fuck, because of course the fight's almost in. We've got the healers at the back doing shit. We can't stun it anymore. We can't bring it down. We've run out of items. Oh bollocks, what do we do? Oh fuck, Kim's down, and then suddenly he comes back on, and then we just think, oh fuck, we've got 40% health of this bastard dragon to go. We're not going to manage to meet the cab. Godsbane's just got back on. His connection's balls. What do we do? And I have never felt so happy. I just thought, oh, bollocks, we've got nothing else. Popped Mighty Strikes, ran forward, and that, minute section of luck. And I think anyone who has played Warrior can understand. When you're dual-wielding and do 2 double attacks in one round, it feels great. But when all 4 attacks hit, and because of Mighty Strikes, all of them crit, it's just, ah! And it wasn't then it was kind of like a heroic action of, I'll save the party, damage. In retrospect, it was more of, oh shit, we're fucked, panic.
It's like hit the panic button.
Yeah, well, the fact that we won was a happy accident.
It really was.
And it was just oh yeah, this is amazing. And then we get teleported out, and it's where the fuck are we now? And then we try to walk our way back down, and everybody dies.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say now, at the time, very frustrating, and you guys will remember, like, me and Tyso going on forever about this fight. Forever. The ACP fight, the final fight.
Yes.
I'll never forget. Now, we did this many, many times. Now, it just made me laugh at the time. It's still funny now. I remember when we first did the fight, you were there, Asmo. Remember you had to fight that crystal and it was just so irritating. It was like, how do we do this? You said at the end of it, because we ran out of time, and you were so genuine about it, and it was just, for some reason, I just thought it was so true. You're just like, how does one do this fight?
Well, it was true.
It was just like so true. You're like, how are we supposed to do this exactly?
Exactly it, though. There's like an established, not continuity, but like an established way of doing things in Final Fantasy XI. Generally, it revolves around spank and tank, or certain debuffs you need to cast, then spank and tank. And suddenly, we're given this monster that is basically immune to magical damage. You can't get close to use melee attacks because it's got physical resistance. The only thing it doesn't have, like an abundance of defense, is ranged resistance. But then again, it instaports you to itself. So if you're firing or casting, it interrupts you. It slowly builds a resistance to every debuff you cast at it. It's got 1,000,001 HP. You've got 30 minutes to beat the fucker. How are you supposed to do it? And the truth is, cheat.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of dudes with guns and like a paladin going whoop 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 whoop, and that's his job. He doesn't act.
Well, and to your
paladin.
credit, I got to say there was that time when you said, because we still didn't know the strategy, you said, let's just go in there and smack the thing to hell, and we almost won. Didn't we get down to like 5%? We came very close. Remember that?
No, it was even better than that. It was 1%, and we had to get a red mage to re-raise.
Because at first we said, no, that's not going to work, and then we kind of thought, well, why wouldn't it? Just do it very, very fast. Like, I think we built up like on all the strength food and attack and stuff, and I mean, we really went there and went all out.
Not CPU.
I went in there in Dragoon, as I recall.
Yeah, and I made sure that everyone had an Ickwing, and I paid for stacks and stacks of them, and I'd lost hundreds of thousands of gil because, of course, everyone was buying Ickwing stacks as soon as the Zerg strategy became viable. And I think, I don't know where we went wrong. I think eventually when it starts spamming AoE attacks and, doing armor ignoring single target death rays and, tentacle rape spiky things, then suddenly the Zerg tactic isn't viable if you can't chain spell stun them anymore.
Right.
And
it's like it worked up until a certain point.
I just feel that from a game design perspective, I just feel that it was less than optimal.
And because of that fight, like, the thing that I hated the most about it, and I think everybody did, was when it was clear that you were not going to win that fight, when you knew that you were running out of time. I don't think you didn't dread doing the fight again. You were dreading doing that climb again.
Oh, the fucking...
Because that climb is so pointless.
It was like,
why did you have to be capped to do that, other than just to piss us all off? It was so goddamn pointless.
And it wasn't even, what's the word? It wasn't even fun. Like,
no.
The Moogle Cooper d'Etat, you had like a bunch of mini games, and you had to do this, and it was actually quite fun doing those mini games. With the tower climb, you're Metal Gear Soliding it all the way up past these dudes, and when you get to the top tier, they will just smash you in the face. There's no there's no chance of being able to do it. And if you're a ninja or a dancer, you can solo it, but you can solo it and even then, I just find that it was so ridiculous. And when they introduced the option of buying the completion item from, I can't remember which vendor it was, I think it was that goblin.
Yeah.
Then that was such a relief. But I just think, with the fight, like the ACP fight, you needed multiple tries to get a strategy that worked. And having to ascend one of the most convoluted zones ever in Final Fantasy history at lower level for the sheer pleasure of getting smacked around by an inanimate object, I think it was a little bit too high.
Well, I remember after we completed it, because I think we all combined had must have been 50 tries, It And when we finished, we're like, we're never doing this again. And then Halidar and me were like, a week later, we're like, yeah, we want new body pieces.
See, do you remember the Moogle Kupo d'Etat fight? See,
yes.
I don't, actually. I don't remember any of that.
I certainly do.
So I loved that because it was just so funky, and it was like dun 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 dun, dun, and it was so cool, and it was so lively, and like you just thought, oh, this boss is adorable, and then he starts throwing frying pans and mega stunning you and all that sort of stuff, and it was just so, it was so delightful to have, like, for once we're fighting a boss that isn't, oh, I'm going to cause an apocalypse, or oh, I'm going to ascend to heaven, or oh, I'm a god with an emo complex. So for once, it was
in
just
that case. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just yeah.
It was just a Moogle League National.
See, I wish then, having said that, I wish you could see the Mog King fight in Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh, I love that.
What's that, Yuna?
The one thing I loved about that fight was I got to go on Black Mage and just blow Moogles up. That was like the most exhilarating thing ever, to unleash Aga 3 attacks.
Yes.
And because you couldn't do it anywhere else. If you did an Aga 3, like, everybody looked at you and you're like, fucking die, you know?
Do you know what?
I did. I only did that fight once. I mean, I won it, but, like, after I finished ACP, I said, I'm not buying anything from them ever again. I will not buy those other two. And then, I think by then we were on Cerberus, and, like, everyone's like, yeah, let's do them. And I said, oh, fine. At least then I knew that I was going to be able to do it. Not to say that we couldn't do anything ourselves, but I knew there'd be a higher rate of success if I went with the other guys, with them on Cerberus, with like Alexi and all those other guys that we know.
You know what really makes me chuckle, Yuna, is the fact that you did not enjoy the fight because of the coolness or anything. It was like, in this place, I can unleash genocide. You were the exact same in this CP static. You were just like, guys, stop killing it. I want to use my big nuki boom of death.
Exactly, because everywhere else I went, aside from, like, the newer expansions, or the mini expansions, I was a fucking white mage. I had to make sure everybody lived. So, goddammit, I want to blow
never let you go with
something
anything
up.
else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I always had to make sure that I was a life-giving person. But then when Ken actually got me to level Black Mage, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do this. I hate Black Mage. Until I got my first AM spell, and then I'm like, oh my god. A demon has been unleashed like you would not believe.
I love
Here's what I
love.
Now, here's what I love. Now, in our shell, we did have a couple of white mages. You had Batsmaru, Crystal Dragon, and probably a few others, Yunaspirit. But it was like, we had so many other white mages available, but we never let them go on. It was like, we said to go on white mage. It was always her. And she's like, I don't want to. Fuck you. She's like, why? I have Dragoon.
White mage.
I went through phases.
So bad at us.
Like I would level different jobs on purpose, and I would go through phases like, why? I've got fucking Dragoon. Let me stab something in the fucking face for once. Let you guys be the one that raised me, not me you know what I'm saying? And then it was Black Mage and Dancer and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, y'all fucking suck. And at one point, somebody's like, Yuna, and I'm like, don't fucking ask me. I'm not raising anybody. And then, of course, anytime somebody said, Yuna, no, I'm not going to fucking raise you. Raise yourself. Home point, bitches! and of course, I would always go raise somebody. So
we never let you go on anything. I never saw you on anything else.
Well, you remember when we were helping the group go through their promies, like, over and over and over again? And
man.
And then
that music.
Track.
Exactly. And I think at one point I'm like, I'm not going.
Wow, that takes me back.
Was this the time that, because we were always doing a promi for somebody?
Yes.
Was this the short bus?
Yes, the short bus. Yeah.
Jesus.
I actually got to go summoner, and it was because I pitched such a fit over going as a white mage. I'm like, no, because you really need a summoner in this to astral flow it. And I'm like, I'm not going white mage. Somebody else can go.
Yeah. It got me so angry because every time we did a promi, I said, that's it.
That's
I'm not. One. And there'd be like 6 of us from the shell, and like 3 of us needed it, and the other 3 would just need help. And I said, okay, that's it. We're finished. And then the next day, somebody says, I need promise. And it's like, where were you yesterday?
Exactly. It's like, why can't you guys make up your own static and do this?
Somebody always needed to do a promi, and it drove me absolutely fucking crazy. I was always in a promi with somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of calming, though, now that I haven't played in over a year and I haven't done promis in like 2 years. It's actually pretty calming to listen to, but at the time you're like, it makes me sick to my stomach to even hear this song.
I really enjoyed the area, like inside the crystals.
Yeah.
Or the crags.
Yeah. Right.
The Aetherites.
The Aetherites.
That's the wrong game, guys.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Well, like, I couldn't stand doing promis anymore. Like, somebody always needed a promi, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
I think you should log on to 11 soon, and we'll go do one.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'll do it.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. Like, I want to play portions of the soundtrack, and just sort of like, when you hear it, obviously, it's going to bring something back. So, let me start with this one.
Imps, where? God damn it.
Wait, which one was this again?
Meyer.
Cadaver Meyer.
Oh, son of a bitch.
You know, the
Everybody hates him.
Imps.
Every time I hear this music, I could just be walking down the street listening to it. I still am waiting to hear like that aggro sound from an imp and hearing black magic being cast.
Yeah.
And there was and you guys remember like back then when the cap was 75, even if you were 75, if you aggroed an imp, there was no way to get away from it, and you couldn't kill it.
No, you had to run, and you had to know where you were running. If you took a wrong turn, you were dead.
And the thing of it was, like, if you're running for the staging point, the Chigos too. If you're running for the staging point, like, you had to pray that imp was stopped to cast blaze spikes, giving you enough lead time to get away. Because I saw so many people get stuck at that door, coming out of there. I mean, I would try to go out there and solo them on Blue Mage. I could never do it.
Oh man, those imps pissed me off so much.
I want to say, aside from Sky or H&M's, I died more at that fucking door than anywhere else in the game. I hated that fucking door.
I'll tell you where I died the most. The Batcave in Valkyrie Dunes.
Jeez.
My quote for that is, it's the meanest thing that SE ever did. Because those bats never stopped chasing you. I said one time, this is no joke, they chased me all the way up to Gustav Tunnel.
Holy shit.
Because, you go to that lizard camp, it's level 10, so you have to go through that cave, and it's not like your home point is set down in dunes yet. I don't think it is, because you still could die getting down there. And those bats come after you, and you're like, oh shit, and you start running to the zone to Constantine Highlands. You almost always did not make it to that zone. Or like, you would get through the zone, and they would pull you back in, and you would die right there. There was always like a bunch of, even though there was that home point right, you could set your home point right there, by the guide, there was always somebody, no matter what, running past with a bunch of bats behind them. Every single time I stood there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just, those bats.
No, they were the. Oh my god.
I'm busy being taken back by the music.
What's that?
I'm busy being taken back by the music.
No, I thought my mic went off for a second.
It's like the first time you ever log in though, and you run into an orc, and you just die, and you're like, really? I've just been playing for like 15 minutes, and I'm dead already.
No, I remember the first
especially
time.
back when you lost EXP after level 5.
Yeah. No, I remember the first time I died, it was to a Kodav in Bastuk, and I had re-raise up.
So what do? I re-raise, expecting to be full health, everything, and just finish this guy off. No, one hit, and I'm back down, and I'm scratching my head like, what just happened?
Okay, what about this one? This can lead me into something.
Favorite zone.
This song has a special place for me because when I look back at all of the years that I played, like I feel like in all the experiences, this is my this is the theme song for it. You know, like this is the music I would want to kind of represent all of that. This music just seems to capture it all just perfectly for me. But what I do recall is something rather disastrous happening out there to all of us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. A certain bird.
Are we talking about when Asmo had a fit because of Pyrrhus and Toy Story?
We're not talking about Asmo having a fit.
It never happened, even though it's on YouTube.
Before we get into this, speaking of Asmo having a fit...
Oh, no.
Would not ever have a fit.
I seem to recall, Asmo, when... You spilled some yogurt on your keyboard?
Look, let's not go into that either.
Oh.
Alright, I won't. What about when you... Okay, what about the time when you got your Byaku's Haidate?
Oh, that... Yeah, alright, that's fair. I went... Oh, man, I went utterly...
You needed a hug that night.
I went ballistic, because it was just, I've got these beasts now, this is incredible, let the world tremble, and I just went to town on Ninja, and like Fushi was out killing things, camping Skogs through, and it was just like, oh yeah, can you help me, like, oh, kill Ladybird, and I was like, okay, and I started from one end of the zone to the other, and in 5 minutes I was done. I was like, yes, this is amazing. And then like a month later, they say, yeah, congratulations for increasing the level cap to 99. All your gear is worthless. And I was like, oh. 2 years of trial and error, and it's all come down to this. The end of the me. And, you know, insert music and so on and so forth.
Right.
I was very upset.
Speaking of, you know, I played that music to Wedge Up Woodlands. There was that moment of us fighting that bird, that amazing bird. What was the name of that thing? Zorljaz Pukcha or something?
Zorljaz Pukcha or something.
Okay, yeah. So, what I recall from this is when I actually changed monikers to I actually changed the linkshell name to Chocobo Knights finally. Sort of.
Yay!
Bonus feature.
First thing I hear is Sale.
Okay. Now come help us.
You know, was this one of the earliest things? I like when Sale goes, you know, is this one of the earliest things you do with us?
No, don't do that yet. The only thing before this that I did was the Asern Fist in him. Where we
right,
you
this is right before this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But this is the first kind of clusterfuck that I was there for.
Man.
Actually, Iridon, kick Ellie out of the Halidar and Viceroy.
Again, Vista, low frame rate, horrible.
No, because I've got hay.
I just gave it to you from the... well, let me drop.
I hate listening to my voice. My microphone though was different, so I don't sound the same.
I said he could come back. Oh, okay.
Iridon, invite Viceroy quickly.
Invite me quick.
Attack.
Seek up.
Attack it.
What am I doing?
Why did we fight this?
You're gonna come.
It was funny at the time.
How much is
I think
airing sell for anyway?
We were just riding by and we were like, oh, let's take it down.
I
just like, quickly, get in the party, And there's just you, Una. What am I doing? And everyone's panicking, except for you. You're just oblivious to the threat.
Well, it's because me and Sale were actually in Whitegate, and they were out there. Hey, you guys, where are you?
Eridon in costume.
Yeah.
So I was completely oblivious because I was still in Whitegate. Right? We had no idea what the fuck was going on. Until we heard them start to panic.
I just remember me being the only one alive at one point. I'm like, where the fuck are you? Where are you guys?
It's just Eridon going, oh god, what do I do? He's he tries to sleep the thingy bird dude. It's just like, no, what am I doing?
My game's frozen.
Oh my god!
So.
Tell you what, that great sword, the Subduer, what a beastly weapon.
Yeah. Do I have major hate?
What's that?
Yeah.
What beastly weapon?
No worries.
Eridon's great sword, the Subduer.
Oh yeah. I forgot about. Yeah, I do remember that actually. I never had one.
This is getting dangerous.
That was accidentally broken. Because of
so,
all of the weapon skills were single hit beasts. So plus 6% or plus 8% crit hit rate was absolutely incredible. And it just so happened that it had the best damage to speed ratio of any greatsword, with the exception of the relic weapon. No other greatsword could beat it.
Why?
I was yelling at Jaredon because he used Invincible on the previous NM.
Jaredon, why didn't you use Cure 1 there?
Okay, this is when it goes south.
Oh my god.
Here comes Aridon.
On track.
That was classic.
And there's so much lag, I don't know where the bird is. I don't know where it went. At first I thought that wyvern was it over there.
Jamie, you just attracted the crowd.
Oh, it's coming back for me.
They were XPing right in that area. And they stopped to watch because they're like, look at these assholes.
I think it also looked like there was a ninja who was out there trying to claim it.
Oh yeah, we completely took it away from anybody that person who wanted it. I mean, we came in and just took right over.
Yeah, because Aridon wanted the earring. And And the thief wanted it, but we got to it before he did, and he was just kind of doing what other people do. They stalk you, they're praying. And we've all done it, sitting there and you're watching someone who's got claim on an NM you want real bad, and you're like, please fucking die, just die so I can take it over.
So lucky there,
Come
by the
on,
way.
Viceroy, I'm just cringing.
But you claim it just as Aridon drops, it's like, oh.
No. Yes!
Oh yeah, I get my 2R on at the last second. I was mashing that enter key. I mean, who macros the 2R? I never did.
I did.
Where are you guys?
And that's where Vice
that was
like,
so
always make it
close.
At one point, I remember Yuna's like, I am!
I'll take one of those as well, when you get the chance.
Because I didn't know where the fuck you guys were.
We showed up there at the last minute.
Yeah, you're right. I can see you now over there. But we didn't kill it. We did not succeed.
Oh, really?
No, we didn't.
Because the video was
it's almost dead.
Keep me alive. I'm the only one who can do this.
There it goes.
Linkshell. So what's everyone doing?
Yeah, we did win. I didn't capture the whole thing, but we did win, yeah.
You made fun of me how I said that, but I was actually eating a Pop-Tart when that happened. and Sale's like, Yuna, cure him, and I'm like, I am. And I had a Pop-Tart in my mouth. And as I was trying to respond to you guys and cure, I had crumbs falling out of my mouth. That was
whose fault is that?
I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm trying to enjoy a goddamn Pop-Tart. These people are...
You're not allowed to eat in this link shell.
I know.
You white mages can't eat.
That's what you white mages? One white mage. You make it sound like there was a whole horde, at your disposal. No, there was one.
My face hurts.
It's like, where's Yuna? Somebody text her. Somebody call her. Wake her ass up. And I'm serious. That's why I never got any sleep. In the 2 years I was in the shell, I was a fucking walking zombie. I could not ever sleep. It's like Freddy.
Right, I need to temporarily say goodbye to you people. I will be back relatively soon. Speak to you in a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is exactly why I never wanted to level white mage. Because I would turn into a vegetable.
No, I remember soloing my White Mage most of the way.
Oh, I feel for you so bad.
Oh, man.
No, it's actually a lot of fun.
So, I'm going to see if anybody else from the old shell is available. If I say somebody's name, they may just appear out of thin air. Is Argent Lamb around?
I think he's already gone to bed.
Ellison's around. Oh, well, Argent, you sound just like Ellison.
It happens sometimes.
I still make fun of Argent Lamb to this day. We both do.
He deserves it.
How goes?
Pretty good.
Ellison is, I think, out of everybody in here, the oldest, like one of the earliest, probably the earliest members of the shell. She's on the first wave.
Was I? Yeah, I was.
Yeah. We're just kind of in here, going over old times, like we always do. So I guess my question to you is, do you have a most outrageous moment with all of us?
Do you remember when we were in Kuftal and we just decided to go around trying to kill random NMs and then... What the fuck is that big wyver's name?
Weaverate.
Yeah. And it came, like, running around the corner and just curb stomped all of us. And instead of being like, oh, hey, let's not do that, we went back. Why did we do that? Why did we go again?
Because we didn't care.
It was pretty awesome, though.
That NM, he was always down there. I remember I was skilling up with Fushi and Meanie. It was a Saturday or Sunday night, and Fushi and I had Limbus at like 9 o'clock, and it was like 8:50. Meanie wasn't in the Limbus shell with us yet. He didn't have CXs yet, I don't think. And so Meanie is facing me, so his camera is facing me, and we can't see what's behind him. So we're killing some crabs, and all of a sudden he says, "Why is the ground shaking?" Guivre came stampeding up the hill and just, like, ripped his face off. And Fushi and I are looking at the clock, and we're like, oh shit, we gotta go. So we just off and leave him there. We couldn't raise him anyway. And he's like, God, I hate you all. Fucking hate you all. Goddamn kids. That, and, oh, it was so funny. And Fushi shouting at me, he's like, Meanie! Like it's his fault, like Weaver's coming up the hill. But that's one of the, that was one of the best moments, in my opinion. So, the other one that I wanted to look at was the Halidar's favorite, I think, right?
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Oh my god, horrible! I remember this day so well. This is how many times did we do this day?
Man, I love
like
my intros.
9, 10 times. But this was the only one that went tits up.
4%.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Here
we go.
This is when we just jumped over to Hades.
We'd been there for like a day, I think.
Yeah, I don't even think it was that long.
Can't kill it. It's me. Hurry up.
Just in the background.
So what happened was, everybody died, except, who's alive?
There's Fushi, Baracus, Asmo, and myself. Oh wait, no, Fushi's dead at the moment. Oh, yeah. It's Asmo, Baracus, and me. A Black Mage, a Dragoon, and a Dark Knight.
1%, come on.
Were you on Dragoon? Were you on Dragoon?
No, I was on Black Mage.
Oh.
That's when Fushi gets up.
You know, after all this, it's better to...
Listen to Aradon.
Spanish!
And Narelle is on Skype with us. She's not even in there actually logged into the game. She's just listening to the whole thing.
So I know that I wasn't there for you guys, but I remember watching this after you posted it, and I laughed for fucking ever. The whole time. I did nothing but laugh, and I'm like...
Alright. This is the great thing about this, in my opinion.
No.
So
yeah!
it's like
no.
There's so many different things going on. It's like it's just about to die. Somebody dies. I wasn't thinking. Somebody dies, and we're like, no. Then we kill the mob, and we're like, yeah. Nothing drops, and we're like, no.
But you know that
horrible.
was just
horrible airship
silver runs. They always turn out that way. Always.
It was my first time. I don't know about anybody else. It was the first time I ever did a Sobro fight.
Now I want to go to Hades.
I mean, it was horrible, man. I was so angry. Like, you guys all got the Sobros. Everybody who needed them, except me, pretty much got them on the first drop. It took me. We had to do it like 3 or 4 times for me to get it. Was this the first attempt for me?
Yeah, it was the actual first attempt we ever did as a group.
Oh my god.
And then the rest were just like smooth as anything.
Of course.
No problems.
And I was there as the thief. And you know, and everybody knows that when you go as a thief, if something doesn't drop, it's always your fault.
Damn it, Vice.
Yeah, it's always your fault as a thief. Every single time.
Fuck out.
But something I want to bring up, like, when you look back at some of the history of the shell.
Hit with his shadows and nothing happened.
So, during this time, Yuna, were we all friends?
I want to say no, but I secretly stalked your videos anyway. I'm all like, I fucking hate you, but I love these videos.
I figure, like, listeners, for listeners anyway, I want to go over this because I just love talking about this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just can't help myself. I said I wouldn't, but
okay.
But I just can't help myself. So, we jumped over to Hades in October of 2009, and and needless to say, Yunaspirit was not friends with all of us by then. What happened? Please tell. What happened? And you can feel free to insert like something over somebody's name if you don't want to bring up the person's name.
There was a conflict.
Meanwhile, Ellison's off going, I'm not paying attention to this, I'm just painting.
Exactly.
But everybody loves Ellie. There was a conflict that I was stuck in the middle of. And...
I'm listening.
And I quietly made my exit. And then Asmo and Hallie were in a dynamic shell with us.
Yeah.
And we caught wind of you guys jumping. And I'm like, well, Asmo and Hallie, you two aren't going, right? You're staying. And, yeah, we're staying until the day came and you guys were transferring servers.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck Vice. Fuck him. He's taking all my friends. I fucking hate you. But,
because I have that power, obviously.
I fucking hate Vice. He's taking all my friends away. But,
didn't you say something to me? Like, how dare you transfer something like that?
I honestly don't remember because I'm stuck on the whole, who are you to demand such respect?
Yeah, because you said, what did you say? Like, you said, I
was trying to make amends with you is what it was. And
but what made you say the whole 360 thing? To which I correct you. What did you say again?
I said I did something about a 360, and you're like, don't you mean a 180? I'm like, fuck you.
Because the 360 is full circle.
Shut up. trying to make amends with you, and I said, I don't even know how this came about, but you said, how is your other half? I'm like, he has a name, you know. And you're like, he hasn't earned enough of my respect to even say his name. I'm like, who the hell are you to demand respect from someone?
Oh, the harshness.
Yeah, because she was trying to make amends with me over, like, a conflict that we all had, and Halidar probably remembers, like, shit went down very quickly on 3 different fronts, pretty much, and, she was trying to make amends with me, and I just wasn't... I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
And so I think when the whole world transfer thing came up, that's when you decided... That's when you got mad.
I did, because I didn't want... Regardless of what happened, the whole conflict thing, regardless of all that, I never truly wanted to leave.
Right.
It was because of... And this person was... But... Beep! Yeah. I never wanted to leave. I'm like, oh, my friends. Because I had no, like, you guys were all I knew, and then all of a sudden, because of said person, I, like, had none. And so I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm trying to make amends with you, and you're just gonna leave me, and you're taking everybody. Taking all my people away.
Well, there were a couple times when you and I had to know, because I do remember the other time, I know we've talked about it, because I remember where I was standing.
I like how that's how you remember where you were standing.
I don't know why, I just remember where I was standing. So, I was giving Shiro a hard time just because he had a link pearl to your shell. And I was just joking. Like, I wasn't doing it on purpose. Like, I was just messing around. Like, I wasn't serious, you know. So, I don't know if he had said something to you. He must have said something to you. I don't know what he said. So you come to me and you, like, were telling me to leave him alone and stop treating him that way and he can do whatever the hell he wants and stuff. And so, as you and I are having this conversation...
Oh, God.
I'm on Skype with Meanie, and I'm repeating everything that you're saying to me. And, like, you were, like, defending Shiro, and Meanie said, "Oh, is Mommy mad that her little boy left the house?"
I think...
And I was mad, and then when he said that, I fucking lost it. I could not stop laughing because it was just so... It just seemed so accurate.
Well, the thing is, you were on Skype with Meanie. I was on Skype with Shiro, and Shiro's like, oh God, Vice is like upset or something that I'm in...
I think it's like 2 different calls ago. I'm like, I was on Skype with this person, you're on Skype with that person.
Exactly, and I'm like, well, I'm going to fucking say something to Vice. He can't just... And I just kept going, ranting, and he's like, no, Yuna, don't say anything. I'm like, no, who the fuck does Vice think he is? He does not rule... your person. and it was me desperately trying to cling because I'm like, well, fuck, you know. I think at one point I'm like, everybody is his sheep. Everybody follows Vice. What's so fucking great about Vice? No.
Nothing.
It was all,
Nothing.
It was I you know, secretly deep down, you know, I stalked your videos. And I'm like, oh, I miss it.
Right. But it's so funny.
It is now, in retrospect. And in hindsight.
It's so funny.
I couldn't... And I apologize, but I mean, now it just makes for good material.
Well, it was a very tough time because when that all happened, we were getting ready to jump. Now, you were on the outs, I think, with a lot of us.
Uh-huh.
Not just me. I think you were out on the outs with a lot of us.
Uh-huh.
Tyso left, which upset me a little bit because he was sort of my trolling buddy. And even after we jumped to the other server, in the process, we lost Pyros, we lost Eridon, we lost Betsmaru, we lost Lalani, we lost Callista, we lost a lot of people. All of these, like, you know, amazing people that we had so much fun playing with. So, it really sucked, and I kind of, in looking back on it, I wish I didn't do that.
Well, we all regret what we did. I mean, I know I certainly did, and if I could go back and change it, things would...
You mean stay behind?
I would have changed so many things, and I probably would have made the jump with you guys had the situation been different, but...
It just sucked, because I liked being on Hades, and then I liked, being on... Mostly on Cerberus, because I got my name back. We all had to change our names when we jumped over to Hades. I was one of the few that got my full name back. But it was fun being... It was fun being over there, but there was always a piece of me that said this was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have done this. Because what happened was, I saw that Odin was closed, and I kind of panicked.
Yeah.
There was like a lull, and I kind of panicked. So, I don't know. I do wonder what would have happened had we stayed.
Well, Odin would have opened.
It opened up like a month after we left, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah.
It's like, seriously?
I mean, we had good times over there, but the group wasn't the same, obviously. It was, the people over there were not the same. And, I mean, you must have missed some of Odin. You must have missed it, right?
I missed Odin immensely.
Yeah. I mean, did you ever, wonder, question, why did we do this?
Yeah, at times, and then there were some times where I just enjoyed everything about it. It was
right.
When we were actually doing stuff together, it was yeah, this is awesome, but then there were the times
right.
where, there was lots of drama, and it was why did we come across here?
Yeah, and the weird thing was, about a year after that, I came back to Odin, Sale came back with me, Nelia came back with me. I hadn't talked to Hallie or Asmo for a while. I hadn't seen Fryce in a bit. And you guys all went back to Odin too. But none of us knew that. We all sort of went back at the same time, but didn't realize it. I mean, I remember coming home that one day, and I called up Nelia and I called up Sale, and I said, I'm going back to Odin.
And it was funny because I never left Odin, and I'm randomly in Juneau, and then you guys are fucking popping up like daisies. I'm like, where the fuck did they come from? I'm like, wait a minute, did somebody else create, a character? And I'm like, no. I'm like, they're back.
It's them, yeah.
Wait,
so
when were you were still playing on Odin, last year?
I've been gone for 16 months.
So, not last year, the year before.
Mm-hmm.
I never saw you in my entire time back on Odin.
That's because that's pretty much when I started, a lot of things happened to me and different shells when you guys left.
Yeah.
And I just lost the will to play like I used to. And I gained a job, and it's I was renovating my house, and I just didn't have the time to play anymore. But I did, briefly, Asmo called me on Skype one morning, and he's like, oh, hi, I'm back, and we started talking for a little bit, and then I saw Vice, and I'm like, I sent a tell to tell. I'm like, welcome back. Oh, my God, you're back.
Yeah.
But nothing really came about, and I think I ended up throwing in the towel shortly after you guys came back.
Well, we, in a sense, patched it all up after that, because we were talking, but, I don't think we entered any, Skype conversations or anything like that, but there was no...
There was no animosity.
By then I was like, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, because I think I actually said at one point, I'm like, can we just put the past behind us and just...
Because I dealt with so much other shit up until when we left, that whatever had happened between all of us, it didn't even matter, And then, Elisen gave me a pearl to her shell when we came back. Whatever the name of that shell was. What was the name of it?
Was it the Dune servers?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember when you left, and I was sitting in the link shell, and there was nobody in there, and I was like, what am I going to do? I'm just going to be by myself all the time. And then I sent Yuna a message, actually. I was like, so did you server transfer too, or are you going to server transfer? And that's actually when I found out that you guys weren't getting along, because I was completely oblivious before that. I had no idea.
Yeah. You were painting.
Yeah.
No, it was not painting.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me that message, and I'm like, yeah, shit happens, and yeah.
Right. The first thing I did when I came back to Odin was I sent Elisen a tell. I told her I was back, and I said, "Where's Meanie?" And you said to me, "Oh, I think he's up in Sky. They're doing Despot tonight." I said, "Oh, all right." So I do a seat. Sure enough, there he is. He didn't know that I was coming back. So I go over to my Sky Warp. I go up there, and I put Sneak and Invis on. And there they are, farming Despot, and I find Meanie standing right there. Standing, like, right, sort of, like, toward the back, but, like, in the middle. So I walk over to him. I'm still invisible. And I'm standing, like, just a little bit in front of him. You know, there's a good amount of space between the two of us. Then I take off the invisible, and I wave to him.
Oh, I bet that went over well.
Say, "Oh, Jesus Christ, he's back." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because the funny thing was, after we jumped, we were nagging Meanie to come over the other server with us, and he kept saying he was going to, but he kept putting it off. He never actually made the jump. So, he kept saying he was gonna. So, remember on Hades, I had to turn my name over to Vice because there was a Viceroy over there, and we saw him regularly. Remember that?
He was like the opposite of you. He had made jobs.
He wasn't the same character. He was a human. He wasn't the same character, but like every single job he had was like the polar opposite of me, and he was always on Anon. So, except for a few times. So, Meanie and Sebion were going to jump over to Hades, and they made placeholder characters on Hades. Okay, so Sebion, and they didn't know that I had to change my name. So Sebion goes over there, I think, and it's Sebion creates his new character. Then he does a see all Viceroy, and he finds Viceroy, but it's not me; it's the other one. And so then he goes back over to, I think he might be on Skype with me or something, and he says, "Did you know that Viceroy leveled Bard?" Oh, now he's a White Mage. And then Meanie sends me a message over Skype, and the next day he goes, "What the hell is this I hear you leveled White Mage?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, what'd you level White Mage for?" I'm like, "What are you talking?" I'm like, "I never leveled White Mage. What are you talking about?" He's like, "Did you level Bard?" I'm like, "No. What are you saying? I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Sebion saw you. You had all those jobs up." And I'm like, "What?" And then it took me a couple of minutes, and then we finally came to the conclusion. I'm like, "Oh, I said, that's not me. That's somebody else. I'm Vice."
That's Viceroy.
Yeah. And you guys were always giving him a hard time, and he would always come to me and say, "Tell your friends to stop." I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't fucking do anything.
Jeez.
He's like, "I'm going to call a GM." I'm like, "Go ahead, call a GM."
What the hell did you do?
No, I did nothing.
That'd be a fun conversation there.
Lalani sent a bunch of tells to him. Halidar probably did. Like a bunch of you guys did. I'm like, "Stop! Leave him alone."
Poor guy.
But, oh yeah.
Yeah, poor guy's suffering enough.
So, when it was announced, we had to move to Cerberus because they merged them. And as soon as they announced that, I was like, "Shit, I can maybe get my name back." So I created a Viceroy on Cerberus, and I don't remember why. I think it was, I had to get up at like 5 in the morning
to secure your name.
Why did I do that? I don't even recall. Was it when it was the transfer? It might have been when the transfer actually was. I don't know. So,
to delete the Viceroy mule, so you can change your name to Vice. I think to beat the guy there.
So, what happened was I got up, I did it because what happened was on Cerberus there was also a Vice. So I'm like, shit, I could potentially not have my name at all. So I had to get up really early to do it, and for that 2 seconds of vulnerability when the character was deleted and between me creating the name, I was like so scared that he was going to get it somehow.
Did you happen? Oh.
But when I got my name back, I was so happy. was like, oh, now I feel like me again. And the funny thing was, everybody who had to change their name, like Asmo, Hallie, Fushi, Nelia, you guys never saw those guys with that name, did you?
Nope. Well, I saw Hallie. There was like 3 of them, ever.
You're still Halidar, though.
No, I'm not Halidar anymore. There was a Halidar on Hades. There was a Halidar on Cerberus. There was a Hallie on Hades, and there was a Hallie on Cerberus. So I lost my name completely and entirely.
I was so terrified. I'm like, fuck, he's gonna get my name, and I'm not gonna be able to have it back, and I'm gonna get so mad.
You have to quit. It's like,
all right,
name's gone, time to quit.
Yep, rage quit.
Well, it is. I mean, the name is, it's an important factor. All right, let me see about playing some more music and see if it kind of...
Can I just interject for 1 second?
No.
Yes, I can.
What?
Reverend Mail Run.
Oh, God.
Oh. Oh, my God. I remember, but I don't.
How could you forget?
Refresh my memory.
Okay, me and Fushi decided I wanted a Reverend Mail, really bad. And me and him kind of got together and went to all different kinds of forums and basically let Odin know we're going to do a Reverend Mail run. If you want one, show up with a pop item. And all of the entire island was filled with all these people, and it took 3 or 4 hours for us to go through and pop Sheen numerous times. That was that video that I made that I did the Benny Hill theme, and you're like, I fucking hate that song.
I'm so sick of that song. You don't even know. People use it for everything.
Yeah.
It's like when people use Guile's theme on YouTube for everything. Guile's theme goes with everything.
Pretty much.
No, see, I do remember doing a Reverend Mail run, but Hallie probably knows. You remember doing it on Cerberus when we did it in 50 seconds? Yeah, we did it really quickly.
Less than that. It was 30 even. Well, the second
we did a bunch, just one after the next, very, very quickly.
Saying that, we had everybody was on a heavy DD job, like Dark Knight, Samurai, Dragoon, and there was one tank.
It was awesome.
It was amazing.
Okay, this is for, as much as I hate to play it, this is for Yuna.
Last dog.
Yeah, the underdog bitches.
Horrible.
Horrible.
I hated that city so much.
Everybody did.
It was the projects.
Yeah.
It was the project.
I think I was the only one out of the entire group that had a hard-on for Bastok.
That's funny.
It looked like an industrialized version of Lord of the Rings.
Earlier today, since I'm back in 11, I was helping somebody with their level 99 cap fight. And this Mithra was complaining how she didn't like Windy, she liked Bastuk better. And another Mithra said, yeah, I don't like going there. I hear there's a lot of dark alleys with shady people.
Bastok, I think... I don't know what drew me to it, but I remember creating my character and it being in Bastok. And all the Elvens are so snooty. and I'm like, And being in CK, I had the worst time. Every time I brought up Bastok, they're like, oh, it fucking sucks. Bastok's always in last. Always. Just because you suck. Daddy needs a raise.
Dad's dead. Dad's dead.
Come raise your father.
So many things come to mind. We mentioned this on a reunion from a while back, from a couple months ago. I just remember, I'm going to bring it up again, Ellie coming back onto the game and getting really mad about ranting about Crayola crayons. We were all just hanging out, minding our business, having a good time, and all of a sudden, in all caps, why the fuck doesn't Crayola make jumbo crayons anymore?
I was so pissed.
And we're like, whoa!
I had gone to like 5 stores that day looking for fucking jumbo crayons, and every time I got somewhere, they'd be like, oh yeah, we've got crayons for little kids, and they take me back there, and they're like, shaped like fucking rabbits and cats and shit. You can't draw with that.
Wow, they took you back there, huh?
Are you talking about the ones that, sorry if I mentioned this, but like, they were jumbo, but they were like, flat on one end, on one side?
No, I remember those too. Those fucking hurt your hands. But
they did. I had those in 1st grade.
No, Crayola came out with these ones that are intended for like infants and toddlers, and they're like these big, giant, fucking round balls that are shaped like animals. How are you going to draw with that? You're not going to be able to draw anything that doesn't cover the entire page in one stroke.
I mean, she was really mad. She was really mad.
I was so pissed off. I was ready to, like, break something.
What I loved about it was that every time you logged into the shell, anybody, it was always in the middle of some weird conversation.
True enough. The thing you walked into in that link shell scarred people for life.
Okay, what about this one? Get the volume up. I know what's going to come out of this.
Oh my god, that fucking goblin smithy!
Exactly! There always had to be somebody standing at that zone line.
Wow.
To take those goblins out. They were every time you zoned in. Because that reminds me of Citadel, the bats in Citadel. I know we've talked about this, endlessly. But what I loved about it was that, there'd be this. People would run out, and, we'd be like, is it safe? Can we go back in? And then somebody runs back in. No, it's not safe. I just died again. And and that's when people would get mad and they leave and the XP just got all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, blacked out.
Zone it!
It was that one tiny area. It was like the top of the stairs, the middle of the stairs, the bottom of the stairs, and then around that corner to the right. There were four groups there.
Yeah.
And there was always enough mobs for everybody.
I remember before when Beastmasters were used to MPK around there.
Yeah. Well, and again, I gotta say this again for anybody listening, but me being the Dark Knight always had to pull. Okay? Now, I had a different PC back then, couldn't run the game amazingly well, and I never really got lag. I'd have to turn weather effects off, but I'll tell you something. Every time I had to go pull a mob, I don't know why, I'd always lag on the spot where the holes in the floor were, and I'd fall through. It was always in that same spot, and there was no other way to go. I always had to run over those, and I'd always fall down. And you remember when you're level 30, when you fall down that hole, it's terrifying.
Because you're just going to, land right on something and die, and nobody's going to come get you, and you're going to have to home point and go all the way back out there.
No.
And there's never anybody, and even if you survive down there, you're never going to be able to get back up because there are bats on the other stairs. There are beetles, everything.
I remember one time I fell down and I fell on top of Circuit.
Oh God!
And there was a monk fighting it, and I just said, "Oh crap! Giant scorpion! No, run away!"
What was the what level did you have to be to XP on the stairs down there? It's like in the low 50s, right?
Yeah, it was
it was like 45.
Yeah, it was around in there somewhere.
Okay, so back in 2005, okay, I remember I was XPing down there. Okay, so we're at the steps. We're just at the foot of the stairs. I go down there and have a great group. XP's going awesome. There's a group far out ahead of us doing circuit. So we're like, oh, that's really cool. It was like the first time we ever saw him. And so I barely moved. I just kind of took 2 steps ahead, and his AoE killed me. This is when it could still hit people outside the group. I don't know if it still can. I don't think so. So, I'm like, shit. So, my White Mage two steps forward to raise me. She raises me, and before my feet even hit the ground to stand up, he does it again and takes both of us out.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, fuck you! Like, and the XP loss back then was much larger. So I think in 2 seconds, I lost like 5,000 XP.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you have to really admit it. The game was so punishing to you. But we just kept playing it.
I, at one point, soloed through a bunch of levels because I gave up on XPing in the Citadel because I went in there one day and I left 2 levels lower than when I started.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the whole game, but and yet it was shells like CK that allowed you to take that punishment without really caring until you logged off Skype that night and then you cried to yourself. Or was that just me?
I think you just cried to yourself because you weren't getting any sleep.
Yeah. No, I've been really good about soloing. I've soloed so many jobs up to 75 that shouldn't be soloable. White Mage being one of them.
All right, here's another one. This one's really important for all of us, I think. I just realized something. You should have named your CK static CSEAK. CK? Well, shit.
Yeah,
well, that works too.
As a summoner, going through that CK or the cop static, and I get down into C, and I have Carby following behind me, and we're walking through and admiring the beauty and the reaping the benefits of what we went through. And fucking Carby starts attacking a goddamn goldfish. I'm like, oh shit, what did I just...
You're like, hey, what are you doing?
And then someone points out, you might not want to have any avatars out while you're walking in sea. Well, that would have been nice to know 2 minutes ago.
Does Carby still do that?
I would imagine so.
It's the same mechanic that would fix that.
Because I just remember doing many events with summoners and people and leaders of the group saying, do not take Carby out, keep Carby in, do not take him out. Otherwise we're all going to die.
Yeah, because he would inadvertently attack things.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, cute little Carby jumping behind you, and he's so fucking cute and free and everything. And then he just starts whacking on something, and your whole party's dead.
I remember the first time I walked into C, and I was walking around, and people had told me, you know, make sure you're watching for mobs below you, but nobody had told me about the fucking UFOs. And one of them came after me, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I was screaming at my computer. I was like, what is this shit?
And then it just drops on your head, doink.
Well, and the problem with remember the goldfish could be underwater in certain areas too?
Yeah, and then they would come up and they would, you know...
And the sharks?
Yeah.
The problem was, maybe it's just the way I see, but you could never tell how close or far away they were from you.
You couldn't?
I never could.
You don't know until you're right up on them and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops, I was a little too close.
Alright. I got another one. Hold on. I want to stop. Alright. What about this one? Everybody's favorite, which I'm so sick of.
The night Hero smashed his head into the keyboard.
Listen. This takes from a Beatles song. I'm telling you right now, from the Beatles song Yesterday. I swear to God, it's like the same exact, like, rhythm. If you know that, do you know that song?
I think you'd have to play it back to back.
It's right here. Right there. And if you, I'll have to play it later on, I'll show you guys later on, but it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. People, I used to go to this area when I was in my 50s on Dark Knight. I never had a map for it at the time, so I never knew. I would just go and explore, but I never knew how to get out of there. I would just kind of wander around and hope that I found my way out, and then I suddenly wind up in Romave, and I'm like, okay, where am I?
Yeah.
Like, is that a crag? Well, the Beata Tree, like, you could tell you were, like, you were at least heading into some kind of an area.
Yeah.
And then you zone right into Romave. But Zeta, I think, is my favorite song, probably of them all, if you take away all the epic boss fight music. But for me, when Kim was like, you need to level Black Mage, and he went on holiday, and Black Mages would have to, at a certain level, solo around the outpost, and that was just fucking nuts. You know, because you would zone in, if you weren't a Black Mage and you were, like, going to Sky and you didn't have the, you know, the Beam Me Up Scotty access, or, you know, the
what?
The Beam Me Up Scotty.
Beam Me Up Scotty, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. You go to the outpost and you see a dead Black Mage, and it was so common that you just, you know, White Mages would actually raise. I'm like, okay, I expect to see a Black Mage around here somewhere dead. But I loved it. There was something about the Zeta music that was just relaxing, and it made the death worth it. Where's that?
Do you know I always get lost trying to find my way to that place, still. Like, we're getting to Sea Serpent's Grotto through the jungle. I still can never find it. Like, if I was to play now, I would not even...
It's Norg.
Well, it's Norg is through Sea Serpent Grotto. You have to go through Sea Serpent Grotto first.
Okay.
Sea Serpent Grotto didn't have any music, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
This was a cool place because it felt like you were in like this like it's a hideaway.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved going out there. For a while, I had my home point set there. I don't know why.
I remember
that's what the samurai quest was.
XPing in the jungle, like there near the waterfall and everything, and we had to zone because of some NM that was out there. And they're like, well, you could just go to Norg, and then, you know, you can get your stuff back home. I'm like, Norg? Huh? What? And he's like, yeah, just stick along the right wall. And I'm like, okay, let me just run through here. I ended up dying.
Yeah.
It's like, God, when is this zone going to appear? Keep running.
Exactly. just stay along that right wall. And
keep running.
Yeah, run through the slimes and the you know, the fishies, and I'm like, oh my god, the zone is like never gonna be right in front of my face. But yeah, Norg was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's where the samurai quest was, wasn't it?
Yes.
The samurai quest was out there. Yeah. I don't know.
Infamous Charby was down there too.
Ooh, Charby.
Oh, Charby.
So much fun
Stories.
times. I still remember I went down there and I was leaving myself AFK just to get his time of death. And I just randomly look up at my computer screen and he's floating there in front of me. And I'm just like, holy shit! What the hell's going on? Nobody's here. Going to linkshell. Everybody here, Charby's up. I need Joyous now. And like within 5 minutes, everybody's down.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, I didn't expect to get that today.
And it was kind of one of those things where you hope that someone had the coin to go through the door. Because when I got my Joyous, I sat down there, and and it was so horrible because I stayed up for hours and hours and hours. I passed out, and I was standing on the hill, like, right before the water. I wake up, and I'm naked back in Bastok.
Oh.
What had happened was someone had MPK'd me while I was sleeping, and so I had been dead the whole time, and it ended up taking me back to Bastok. I'm like, those motherfuckers.
Wow. I remember I always used to have a joke with the Joyous, because everybody called it the Joy Toy.
Mm-hmm.
I would always tell them, make sure you stock up on batteries once you get it.
Soja?
Velugan Palace.
How did I know?
Which, by the way, I gotta ask you a question. Am I the only one this happened to?
Yes.
Why is it when, like, I would do Sky, okay? We had a Sky shell. I would do Sky with, Hallie and everybody else who was there, okay? So, say we have to go into Velugan Palace. So there's a whole string of us, and there's 18 of us. And I'm, of the group running, I'm, third in the line of us running. So, we turn right and go into Velugan Palace, and we're like, oh shit, this is the wrong entrance, so everybody has to go back out. Why is it, when I exit, you guys are, on the other end of the zone? Complete other end of the zone.
That happens to me quite a few times when you join Sky, and you're so nervous because it's the first time you've ever done anything, and you're trying to stick with these veterans, and then, like you said, you'll exit in the same place they did, but they'll be on the other side of the fucking map, which you don't have, by the way. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen?
And this is the more frustrating thing as far as I'm concerned. It's like Hallie would be like, okay, we're gonna enter, you guys would be on the other end of the zone. I somehow am still at where you guys just were, which I swear was 2 seconds ago, but you're suddenly way on the other end. And I'm like, okay, guys, wait for me. Just please wait for me. They don't wait. You guys go into the entrance. I have no idea what entrance you go into. So I need somebody to, hang around outside so I can see which one it is. I go inside, and I still have no fucking idea where you guys are. And I was like, oh, well, we told you to follow us. I did follow you. For some reason, it just didn't. I'm still here. You guys wouldn't think that I was following you. And this huge fight would happen. And I'm like, it's not my fault.
I'll just say now, I hated running a Sky Shell. And I'm sure Asmo did as well.
People were always getting lost, remember?
I hated trying to get up to Kieran, too. That was so awful.
Yeah.
What was the point of that teleport?
That didn't make sense.
Some people are like, even numbers, step on it on even numbers. No, it's odd. No, it's even. No, it fucking doesn't matter which one you either get there or you don't.
We did Kieran. Halidar, please help me out. Of course, probably a situation where, I was on the other end of the zone, again. I get over to that area. Maybe by the time I got to Kieran, he was, at 2%. It took me that long to get up there.
Oh, God, I remember that one.
My very first
ridiculous.
Kieran run that happened. This was before I even knew any of you. And I had never, even gone into Sky other than for 2 seconds. So I have no idea where I'm going, and I go in, and they start popping it. They're like, just keep going until you get up here. We'll go through a couple of pops if we have to. They fucking finish, and they all teleport home, and I'm still sitting there trying to get up to Kieran.
Wow.
Ouch.
Elisen, now that you're here,
Yeah?
there is one thing I need to bring up with you.
Oh?
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Please tell us about your infamous typo.
Oh, man. I don't even remember when it was now or who was there. But, yeah, somebody was talking to me, and I was like, well, I've got to go get some food. So I was like, I meant to type, be right back, 2 secs, need food. And instead I said, BRB sex, need dudes. I really wish I still had that screenshot, because it was so funny. Everybody in the link shell at the time died laughing. And people still, when I tell them now, they just crack up.
The night you told me that, you didn't type it to me, I remember you telling me that story. I almost had a heart attack. I literally had to go outside and get air. I was laughing so hard. I was in a Skype call with, like, probably Jared and a couple other people, and you and I were just talking until in the game. It was either in game or in IM on Skype, and you said that, and I just, all of a sudden, just burst out laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing. And they had no idea what was going on.
Typos are just the best. That made the game, really. The amount of typos and MTs.
What about when I said I want head?
That was running through my mind.
I was talking about relic for Dragoon.
Because you put in like the ...
I didn't know what to say to that because it was so fucking random. It's like, I want head. I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? And before I could say anything smart-assed, I meant relic.
I like stopped everybody. I'm like, I meant relic, so shut the fuck up or get the fuck out. Or something. Or eagle eye shit.
Eagle eye shit.
And you were like, ha ha ha, fail. Or my favorite, when you announced to South Sandori that you're a lesbian.
God.
That was one of Yuna's famous drunk shouts. Or GTFP.
And where was I for this?
Oh yeah, those were. I mean, there were many.
A lot. Get the fuck out, you vagina blocking whore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was random too.
That's an interesting story all on its own. Meanie used to, I used to have this big female boner for Amy Lee in Evanescence.
Oh, not Lisa Frank.
And so he would send me tells while we were doing something insane like campaign, and it was so laggy that if you pressed, Control R to try to scroll up in your chat, and he would send me tells like, you can have my leftovers, and I'm like, get the fuck out, you vagina-blocking whore. And instead of it being in tells like I wanted it to be, what was it, linkshell or was it party chat?
Linkshell.
It was linkshell, because I remember seeing that.
Okay, and everybody...
I have that somewhere.
Everybody's like, L-O-fucking-L, and I mean, the Skype call we just erupted in laughter, and I'm like, MT. Whoops.
There were two times with Halidar, but they weren't really MTs or typos. You just weren't thinking clearly. The time when you
Quicksand Caves. I remember this one.
You wanted me to come down on my other character to tank for you. What happened was he was XPing. Was it like Bibiki Bay or something?
No, Quicksand Caves.
Oh, it was, okay. So, I guess they had a really shitty tank, right? So I'm on my other character, Kuvok, leveling Paladin, and I was like just within their level range. It was perfect. So, what happened? The tank DC'd or something?
Yeah, and he was really shit anyway.
So, yeah, shitty tank, he DCs, and so he figures that's the opportunity to come down and get me to come take his place. So, and I had to hurry. So he says, it was something like, come down real quick, this guy may return any second, and I want you.
Wow.
Then, like, 5 seconds
like,
later,
wow.
It's like, oh, wait, what did I just say?
That sounded so dirty and wrong. I'm a little scared of myself now. And the other time was when, I don't have this screenshotted, I wish I did. All the best moments have not been captured, in my opinion. You and I were XPing. It wasn't that group, it was a different group. And, again, late for me, even later for you. Must have been 3 a.m. my time, so it would put it at like 8 a.m. your time back then. So we were on Skype, and I said, I think I'm going to take off in a few minutes. And he said, yes, so am I. So you say to the party leader that we're going to leave. You said, can you find replacements for Viceroy and myself? Or can you find replacements for us because Vice and I are going to go to bed?
I remember you told me about that. Oh.
Staying up till 8 in the morning really does things like that to you. You suddenly want men.
The thing is, stuff like that happened all the time to all of us, and it made it so funny.
Yeah. And again, it was like, if you look at screenshots of old MTs or just anything like that, I think it's even funnier out of context because you don't remember everything that's going on around it. You don't remember if there was something that kind of facilitated you saying that, or anything, And I think that makes them way more funny because I look at them and I have no recollection of anything that happened before or after it. It's just that one moment that you recall. But when Yuna said that GTFP, you were with Callie, I think, weren't you?
I was with Callie and I think maybe Shiro. And then to save face, I think, I'm like, what, you've never heard of Get the Fucking Penis?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Good times.
Opal Flame had a couple of strange ones. My favorite was when she said her and Tenryu used to play, and she said at one point, I've dual-boxed Tenryu and myself, and Taiso's like, I bet you have!
Yes.
Oh, man.
And then she's making some comment about, like, a Vagisil ad being played at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Because a yeast infection doesn't wait until afternoon.
Then, it was, remember Ravensong? Ravensong was telling some weird story about, I don't remember what the story was, but she said her mom saw her, and she meant to say that her mom screamed, but she said she creamed. But it just, like, fit in so well with the story. Even though that's not what she meant to say. I mean, I sometimes think that there's no other link shell out there that has weird things like this, honest to God.
Putting the fun back in dysfunctional.
I gotta give Pyros credit for that one. He came up with that.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah, he came up with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Not Pyros at all.
What?
Not very Pyros at all.
I thought it was brilliant. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect.
That was our tagline for the longest time.
Yeah.
Just remembering another MT here. The one where Asmodia says, I think I like men.
Which reminds me of the time when Argent Lamb's macros got changed. And he kept hitting provoke and it kept saying, I like men, I like men. And the thing of it was, he didn't notice it because he just kept hitting the macro and not paying attention to it. And he was like, why am I provoking? And then so it was on the screen about 15 times. And there was just that moment of silence, and then I hear him go, I hate you guys!
That powerful fuck.
Oh, Jesus. That's the, it's not letting me fuck. Then I did one similar to that, sort of, sometime after that, where we were doing Sky, and I was describing some ability, and something went wrong in the middle of it, and I said it enhances the effect of fuck! You remember that? What was that?
Viagra.
Huh?
Viagra.
What?
You asked what enhances the effect of fuck. Viagra. How did you not get that, Vice? You were the only person who...
I thought you said Byaku, and I was like, well, yeah, we were doing Byaku. I thought you wanted to do it. How do you know?
I was secretly there.
Oh my god. And then, of course, but that whole, like, that was a powerful fuck, it's not like fuck, like, I still get that today from just at random times.
Lagfest.
What's that?
Lagfest 2006.
Besieged. Remember your first Besieged?
Yep.
I remember Sale's first Besieged and how I ruined it. The first Besieged I ever did, I crashed 3 times. The game clearly could not handle the amount of people in the area, so I crashed a shit ton of times. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you.
No, I get paranoid because my mic mutes sometimes. I remember when I did a Besiege one time and Sale got charmed, and I was spamming him with Fry Pan, and he was getting mad at me. But, like, what I loved about Besiege was how everybody was getting so mad at Lamia number 2.
Was she the one that choked everybody?
She was the one that could kill you no matter where you were standing. You could be, like...
Oh, the bow.
Away, and, like, whatever she used would come, like, through the walls, and it would kill you. Oh, this one. I just love going through the soundtrack.
It is the Summer Breeze.
Yep.
Oh, I loved it. Aw.
Kind of want to play a game just to hear this in the zones again.
Yeah.
The fireworks going on.
Oh, wait. Since we're sort of in season now.
Oh my god, I loved it.
You know when you play Final Fantasy XIV, it actually snows at Christmas time?
Really?
Yeah, it does.
Snow in the starter cities of
I don't think so.
Do you remember when I made you and Tyso do the event with me?
I do.
It was so bad. I was like, no, you're gonna have fun!
She's like, I'm not arguing with you, you're arguing with me! Now we're here to have fun!
Did she turn into Mr. Griswold for a minute then?
So bad. And then, like, every time we would do something, you'd be like, okay, now what? Now what do we do? Where do we go now?
we were completely sucking the fun out of all of it.
Everybody would go around wearing the Santa hats, and the females all looked like little whores.
Right. But no, in 14 at the Christmas event, in the cities, it actually does, it doesn't accumulate, but it actually does snow. I've got screenshots of it someplace. So, I guess this other fond memory that you have, Yuna, is this episode Jump On It?
Yes, oh my god. You guys broke me in well that night.
Again, all these laggy videos, like, it sucks.
Where's the peanut butter? Our buffs for? Our buffs for you.
Because it's a cap.
Buff us. Then why'd you buff us?
Because I want to do something.
Why did you buff us?
Because, okay, we were standing out there for the longest time, not doing anything, so I got bored and I just started casting. And then I knew that it was capped, so I knew they were going to go away, and I'm like, hold on, you know. And you guys were like, why did you buff us? And I'm like, I'm bored. I got bored.
Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's go time.
God, Aradon's noises. Christ. Like.
I did this fight so many times.
See, you guys did, but as I said previously, I had never done this BC before. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're doing because I'm still fairly new to the show.
Get that one. Get that one.
And I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. This is cool. I'll follow their lead. There was no lead to follow.
Right.
But still, the whole thing just hilarious. Why do I feel like I'm soloing it?
I do. This video is actually not like.
That's right.
Oh my god.
The audio is not lined up with. It's not correlating with what's happening on screen.
Yeah, it's not synced, but you pretty much know what's going on already. Or at least we do.
It didn't even matter, really.
No, not really.
It didn't matter
You didn't even have
what
to-
you were doing. As soon as Eridon started screeching like that, everybody was laughing. It didn't matter how serious you were before that.
Because I did this fight constantly with Jared and Maracas.
Yes, they're moving right now. They're moving very slowly.
And see, Eridon was trying to be serious at some point,
Right.
but he could never make it.
He would. Whenever I would talk to you guys on Skype like that, I had a different headset, and I would actually wear it on my head, and because normally I don't do that, I let it rest around my neck. So, whenever he would scream like that, it would scare the living shit out of me. What were we trying to get out of this? Me?
Semi-knee?
Yeah, we were all trying to get like the high dollar stuff so we could sell it.
And we never got them.
No, we never
We never
did.
got that stuff, ever.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I thought you disconnected.
I like how
Mr. Trolling Amarant there.
I just like how, like, what you're hearing most of the time is just us going, "Shut up!"
Well, because he's like, save Viceroy, save Viceroy. I'm like, shut up! I know how to do it. I know how to do my job.
Erase.
In this one, he probably screams the loudest in this one when he screams the, Vice, get it off. I think that was the loudest I ever heard him get.
Jelly pops, I really don't. We'll be okay. Hit him with a stick. I've only seen her pop at like 1%. Oh shit, there's 4. I thought there was 3. Are they not that
Oh my god.
So horrible watching this.
Can we watch one that has a better frame? Can we watch one that has a better frame rate?
Yeah, there's 4.
Jesus.
Exactly.
It's a shame because all the Vista ones are always like some of the funniest ones.
We're fucked!
X-Mike again. I hate this.
It's like, you watch it, you're like, what is going on?
Perhaps it's
What? Look at this. I knew this.
There was one time, we used to do a Nizal Isle static. Were you in that, Yuna?
No, not near you guys.
Okay.
No,
So
I
we did it Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think. And Eridon ran it, and I'll never forget, we were like getting ready to do a run, and we heard his sister like shouting to him in the background. She was like outside his window. She's like, "Come open the door! I'm locked out!" And he's like, "Where's your key?" And she's like, "I lost it." He goes, "Well, you should get one." He didn't go open the door. He did not so the whole time and left her locked outside. Queen Jelly.
There she be.
Oh shit!
This is okay. No, this is where all the hell really breaks loose, right?
Okay.
Okay.
If you guys come out dead, we have nobody here to raise you. Piro's left.
Vice is about to freak out.
I detoured myself.
Can you cure me, please?
Sorry, too busy holding hands with Sheriff.
What did you say? I get convinced.
Can I just?
No.
I gotta get rid.
What? Because you were like, everybody was like, "Cure Viceroy," and I'm like, I was not in range.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. That makes sense.
Oh my god! I'm trying. Do something, Eridon. Do something, Eridon.
Here it comes.
Jump on it! Jump on it! Jump on it!
He's gonna really.
The whole time I'm dead, the three of you just ran right over me.
Ass could have done that before.
Best Aerodon.
You did win, right?
Yeah, we did win.
Yeah. Only just with you about to die.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for third eye, I would have died.
What? What did you say?
Okay. I said because Viceroy's like, let's go, let's get this done, I want my kills.
So what went wrong with that?
Everything went wrong with that one.
It was always when I had the thing recording when something would go wrong. Everything around it was fine, but as soon as I hit record, that's when everything would go to hell.
As Asmo likes to say, it would go tits up.
Well, I want to move on to my favorite with you, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
It was fantastic.
My first transition between the 360 and the PC did not bode well that night.
That was a great one.
Oh, God.
That was such a good one.
Of course, you had to meet your favorite creature in the entire world as well.
Dynamites.
Again, explain to me why the dire mites freak you out, but not the desert spiders.
I don't know. They're just ugly and nasty. And they need to die.
God, look at my shitty gear. O-hat, scorpion harness, vendor slops.
Oh my God!
They're nasty, evil fuckers. Leave me alone.
Maybe. Come and hug it.
Because that particular video is the one where my real life friend Roger had joined us that night.
Right.
And he is such a douchebag. He's like, oh, you don't like these dire mites? Okay, I'm gonna fight one.
He wants to give you high fives.
Why didn't you high-five him?
Why isn't Aerodon doing anything?
He's too busy laughing.
You know, like desert spiders. All those ones you're not afraid of.
Yeah, I remember doing this. We did this right when I got home from work.
Uh-huh.
Not real.
Yeah, rampage. I forgot.
My favorite moment in this doesn't happen yet.
If she's afraid of spiders, you think she'd be afraid of
It comes later. Tyso got the biggest kick out of it.
The other areas, which is
I think everybody did at my expense. I mean, the whole time I was with Michelle, it's like everybody got their kicks.
Just got touched by a spider.
There's only more of them out there.
Again, made you go on White Mage.
Yes.
Isn't that great song again?
I don't think there's a video of me and CK that exists where I'm not on White Mage.
Because you had Summoner, right?
Yeah, I had Summoner.
Yeah. So, like, even if we asked Bats to go on White Mage, you would have still gone on White Mage.
Dire mate.
God.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I need sneak too.
Do you remember Aerodon's Cosmo Cleanse song? Gotta get my soap so I can...
I think so.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Move.
I just left you guys behind. I'm like, no, fuck this, you guys. I'm just gonna go.
I have no clue how to get through Soja. I don't even think I have a map yet.
I think I was the only one who really knew in which order you go through those doors.
We do need sneak on this one, right?
We were always... There are so many things I've uploaded where it's the same thing, just done again.
And again, and again.
You know what?
There are, quite a few assaults, quite a few royal jellies. I think there were 2 Diabolos fights. I mean... Fuck, dude. But this was the same day as Diabolos. Yeah, this was the Diabolos fight. It was right after that, right?
Yeah, we were heading straight to the Oh, you know, I just kind of got stuck.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, am I lagging?
No, I just had my brain.
Oh man, I really want to level.
Stop attacking Jaredin.
Okay, so vampire bats don't aggro.
We're not going to watch the time when Eridon and I were talking like that for a full 10 minutes.
Oh my god, but it's so awesome.
It's horrible, because I can't even sustain it for long. If Eridon and I were like performing on stage together, I would just lose it.
Exactly.
Diablos. For some reason, those I fell on there once and actually tried to live.
Didn't Shiro used to troll you with these because he would always pull out on Beastmaster his, yeah.
I wonder what happened.
So evil.
Here comes your favorite part.
I'm down here too.
I like when Eridon goes, I'm down here too.
Yeah.
Like how Aradon died and also appeared on the top of the
And see, while you guys are doing this, I'm trying to be serious.
He did this in real life on the elevator in FanFest. Oh, here comes my favorite. Here it comes. At 5:10. Jeez.
Oh, bye.
It's just Eridon's, bye.
Oh, I caught that whole thing. I turned around and faced it. No, I turned around and faced it right.
I like how this person's comment points it out. So what was the problem?
That takes you back out to,
I had made the transition from the 360 to the computer that night.
There we go.
And I had never used the keyboard to navigate before. And somehow I went into first person mode, and I did not know how to navigate, and I got stuck on the elevator, and it took me back up.
To log in on a PC.
So, you were not exaggerating anything, like you were genuinely...
I was genuinely scared of them.
Freaked out.
I do not like spiders at all.
Oh god.
And
You don't like onions? I love onions. I eat raw onions.
Like tables.
Yeah, they do look like tables, but I guess it's... In comparison to my character, they were huge.
Yeah.
I bet it
And
was.
so... That's what she said. And,
Oh.
I'm sorry. But I guess it was just the whole fear of having this gigantic spider.
Yeah.
Which is why it really didn't bother me in Altepa to kill the other spiders, because they weren't as huge as those ugly dynamite looking shits. I hate them.
Do you know that on December 26th will be 5 years, the day I uploaded my first video?
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And it doesn't seem like... Well, the weird thing is, 5 years is not that long.
No, it's not, but it does seem like a lot
But
longer.
it feels like, when you think of Final Fantasy XI, it feels like it was just ages ago.
It really, really does.
Back then you weren't 75, or you just...
Because the game was so different. I had two 75s back then.
Oh.
Yeah. Blue and Duck. The 5th anniversary of the actual shell was in the springtime, because I formed the shell in the spring of it was 07. But my doing this was not until around Christmas time.
Just thinking.
I don't know what.
Just thinking, but back in the beginning, would you have ever thought the game would have gone to 99 cap?
I knew that the game was programmed to go up to 100, but I never actually... It was something I never thought of. Oh, really? I didn't even consider that could happen. Did you?
No, I thought it was odd, though, because every other previous Final Fantasy game, the maximum level was 99, or in one case, 100. So I was like, oh, why 75? Okay. And that just became the norm.
Yeah, but level cap was kind of 50 to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was also
I mean, it's gone the
strange.
same way with 14, haven't they? But that's 50.
Yeah. Maybe it's just how they do it in the MMO versions.
The first thing that I uploaded 5 years ago was Elison's. She's in that.
My Azure and Fist video?
Azure and Fist, yes.
Ooh, I love
where
that.
you can barely make anything out.
It's so bad, and there was nothing really interesting happening. I remember, though, that I was so mad at Whiteness for something, and I don't remember what.
Yeah. I don't think you spoke in that. Did you speak in that one? I don't think you did.
Not very much, I don't think.
If she did, she really didn't speak at all. And really, other than Erdan's costume and the nom nom nom, nothing really happened until Vice got left down there.
Well, let me get to that in a second. Let me stop and make a new. Oh, is this the open area at the end?
It's your
and
fault,
was it like an ominous rumbling or something?
Yeah, that you hear an ominous rumbling in the distance. That's not
And we didn't
good.
know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When really,
the one that wanted to go.
When really, I think it was just the world or the stage or whatever collapsing to kick you out.
See, the first one that we did, which again was Elison's Azure and Fists, that was actually me testing it out, because I had the idea of, I think it all sprung from, like, originally we wanted to do some kind of a podcast, but we didn't really have any idea that was sort of different than everybody else's, and so we ultimately just decided to abandon it. And I think I had to do a mat fight or something, so I was on YouTube and I was looking for, like, strategies, and, like, the thing that I hate, and you know, like, when you're on YouTube, you can't watch one video, you begin to watch other ones.
Mm.
So, you know, I'm watching everything in the links and in the suggestions and stuff, and so I keep coming across, like, all these videos of, like, people doing, you know, the diorama or anything of the sort, where they're just fighting each other, and they're always playing, like, this loud rock music. It was always like "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" or something, you know.
Rolling in my skin.
Right. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Rah, 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 like all that stuff. And even people like just doing random fights in the game. So I just kind of thought to myself, why can't we? I'd love to hear what they're saying to each other. Why can't we ever hear what they're talking about? You know, that'd be pretty awesome. So that's when, like, the kind of idea went off in my head. Like, could we do that? Because I also was realizing that, you know, we were doing some crazy shit over the summer that year, and we were all, like, it always ended up in us laughing and just having a good time. I was like, why can't we, like, capture that? Like, I'm not going to say, here's a strategy, here's how you should do it. Like,
it's more of, here's how we do it, watch us fuck up.
Exactly. So I said, why can't we do that? I think that'd be awesome. Cause and I love DVD commentaries, and I always have, and so that's where it all began. And obviously, you know, doing Elison's Azure and Fist, nothing noteworthy happens outside of her actually getting her weapon skill, but, like, you know, there's no amount of, like, craziness in there at all. So all that crazy shit didn't really begin to happen until, like, a couple videos down the line.
You could say, though, it's like Let's Plays before Let's Plays were popular. CK brought it around. CK brought it around.
I guess so.
Just calling it there.
I mean, I thought it was definitely, and I still to this day think it's a very unique idea. I do consider myself to be original in that, but it was just something I thought would actually be really fun, and I think really fun to watch. And I definitely didn't think that 5 years later I'd still be doing it.
You are the pioneer, sir.
Yeah, right. Well, people would always send me messages on YouTube asking me, how do you record conversations? How do you do all that? So I tell them, and some of them would actually attempt to do the same thing.
Yes. I remember seeing a few.
And they weren't very good, but, like, you know, they were doing it pretty cheap. Like, they were all using Ventrilo. I hate Ventrilo. You know, and they were obviously editing it in Windows Movie Maker. You know, whatever, that's, you know, it's free, so, you know, you're going to get what you paid for, essentially, for it being free. But, the problem was, they were doing... I almost felt like whenever you see a movie rip off another movie, rip off a very successful movie, like you see, there are so many shark movies that just rip Jaws off. But the problem is, the reason they're not good is because they're ripping off the wrong thing.
Mm.
Like, in other words, for us, it wasn't what we were doing, it's who we were doing it with.
Exactly. We had this really weird combination of people that worked somehow, and it was hilarious.
Exactly. It wasn't the fact that, you know, hey, let's go do this mission and record it. That wasn't it at all. It was just that we had these very strange sort of, like, dynamic personalities, you know, most just completely polar opposites, and they just all came together and clashed like that, and it just, you know, it just worked somehow. And that, at the end of the day, is what I think made the whole thing work. It was who Asmodia, you know, Yuna and Eridon, just all these, with these, like, insane personalities, just all coming together like that.
One mass.
Huh?
Jumbled together in one big mass.
Yeah. That's what I think made the whole thing work. Not what we did, it was just who we did it with.
You pioneered it. We achieved it, but nobody else has really been able to come close to the dynamic personalities that...
No.
I think it also helped that none of us were afraid of fucking up and looking like idiots. Like, we had fun fucking up and looking like idiots, and that's what made it so fun.
Because we didn't care.
Well, see, and a lot of people, and I will say this, you know, even now, a lot of people put too much emphasis on doing things by the book and micromanaging, and really what it comes down to is it's still a game. If you fuck up, go out in style or something. Don't make such a big deal about it, as is, it is just a game, you know? And I think a lot of people lost sight of that, and they wanted to be 1337 and elite.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the Sky days for us, really. I shudder thinking about it. It's not fun.
Well, we would have... It was just crazy, because that was one of the reasons why I didn't like doing Endgame, because everybody had to be on the top of the game, they had to take it all very seriously. I understand, but I play this game to enjoy myself and have a good time. And that was what I was trying to achieve with this link shell. Like, we're not here to get mad at each other over something and, you know, things like that. We just want to have a good time.
Yet it wasn't a good time in Sky, but aside from that, it
well,
was
do you remember when you guys were forming that shell, and I didn't want to do it?
Yeah. And
I did not want to do it at all.
Okay.
I was so against it.
Well, look at it this way. In any shell, in any friendship, whatever, you're gonna fight. But look at us all now. We've had our knockdown, drag-out fights. We've had screaming matches.
Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. But in the end, we can still kind of look back and say, hey, you know, it is what it is.
I had fun.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and we're able to come back years later and laugh it off.
And I would meet people I've met people in 14 who see us with that same approach, and they're like, confused. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we play to have fun. You ever heard of that?
It's not a grind, you know?
Some of them left the shell because there was just something they couldn't adapt to. I'm not joking.
I remember hearing a few stories about a couple of people.
Because in the past they'd never been in any kind of group who was like that. You know, they were all used to getting on the game, jumping on TeamSpeak or Ventrilo, and just doing it from there. And you know, and here we are just going, no, it's over here.
Well, another part of that, though, is for the same reason that it works because we have all these weird personalities. Because we have all these weird personalities, when somebody new comes in, they either mesh perfectly or it's just not going to happen.
That's why I would say to people because a lot of people, some of you guys heard me say this already, but some people who would want to transfer over to Odin to hang around with us, and they would either send me a message on YouTube or through the forums or an email or something, and I would tell them, because, you know, transferring was $25, and I would say, look, I can't stop you from transferring and spending your money. If you want to do that, that's fine. I just want you to know that all the personalities in the shell are extremely dynamic. There's a tone in this link shell that you either get or you don't, and if you don't get it, if you can't kind of like join in on the fun, it's probably not going to be a very enjoyable experience for you.
And like I said, along with all the personalities that we had, it was an acquired taste. You had to have a tough skin to be in here.
Right.
A really thick skin.
Right.
And if you couldn't handle it, and in even still, there were clickies, you know, little clicks in the link shell.
Right.
But, like I said, it's human nature, but you kind of knew from the first day that you got into the shell, you're either going to mesh well with us or you're not.
Right.
And it's not because we wanted to shun people, it's just that you had it or you didn't.
Right.
Which I experienced from both sides.
And there were some who, you would ask me the last time we all talked about this, you said, you know, was there any transferee who actually fit in? And I was trying to think, and then I said, you know, not really. Like, one, for a little while, Katsuko, but then that was short-lived, because, you know, that got all weird. But I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, the newest person in here is Amarant.
How he deals with this, I do not know.
Because, and you know, we want to kind of get back to those old ways in 14. That's why we're hoping that, you know, I know Eunice is going to play, and, you know, Elisen, I don't know, but Tyson and I are like being a pain with her about it. But the people that we made fun of in the shell, like way back, Tyson and I were having this conversation the other night, and, you know, like I was saying, like, you know, we can't have anybody like that. And then it just kind of occurred to us. I was like, you know, we actually do need people like that, because that helped a lot. That kind of gave us our material and just made everything funny. You know? Yes, we need the resident link shell idiot. The person that this is so great for anybody listening who may want to join the show. Like, we need that person to fill that role and be the one to point and laugh at.
Yeah, Piros is too busy playing Guild Wars too, so invites are up.
But people like Midnight Haven, it's like, he was dumb, we all know that. But, like, he was so, like, oh, man, he didn't bother anybody, he didn't cause trouble, he didn't get into trouble, he didn't do anything. It was just the way he was that made us laugh.
But it was okay, because he put up with us making fun of him, and he took it really well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I'd say right now, Arwen's the one that we kind of poke fun at with her Namp.
Yeah. Namps. Guys, hashtag Namp on Twitter. You know you want to.
But, like, even then, we have newer people who have joined, like Zetsugan, or Z as I call him. Like, he played 11 with us on Cerberus, and I do remember pretty well. But I still consider him sort of new-ish, because I didn't know him very well back then. I think he fits in pretty well.
Yeah, I think Z fits in as well, too.
It's strange, though, because you feel like it's almost like a really tall order. It's like, I need somebody to kind of like fill in this spot and like fill in the equivalent of this person, that person. It's weird, and that's not what we're trying to do. But it's like you ultimately want it to be that way.
God.
Oh,
yes!
Jesus Christ. Dynamis.
I'll never forget. Never forget my Shadow fight. I have screenshots of it someplace.
You know what one of the greatest things about this game was? Is that when music like this starts, it doesn't matter which music you play. Everybody remembers that zone, and they remember something that happened there, and everybody recognizes the music.
Exactly.
I have to bring this up. Sorry, go on.
Well, it's not even just, you know, the Dynamis Lord. It was also the Shadow Lord. Everybody remembers that fight.
Yes. Oh, man. 3
so
times
you gave me
doing
the
it.
segue. So, in terms of what fight to remember, now, Yuna and I were talking about this in preparation for this show last night. I don't care how many years you play the game, how many jobs you get to 75, how much you've accomplished, what expansions you've completed, what gear you've got, it doesn't matter. When you have to fight Maat, it's still terrifying.
Yes.
Every single time. Oh
Every
my God.
Single time. Every time.
And it's not even the preparation before, you know, like I said, we were talking about this last night. You could be prepared and like, oh, it's just another Maat fight. But once you get into that ring and you face him, you piss your pants. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And you
could be level 70, pimped out the wazoo, and he'll still just go, ha ha ha, Azure and Fist time, bitch.
Exactly.
And that's where you know the fight's over.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's like I also said, one mistake with Maat, and it's over.
When I first did it, I did it on Dark Knight in 2004 or 5. Now, this is before they added Absorb TP, Drain 2, Absorb Accuracy, all that shit. Okay? The Dark Knight fight was so difficult. I finally figured out what the problem was. I hadn't done any of my Mog bags, so I didn't have enough storage to hold a lot of stuff. That was the problem. But, even so, like, when I did it on my other character, Kuvok, on Paladin, I did it, but I was still terrified. It's almost like, it doesn't matter how old you are, your parents are still going to treat you like a little kid, and that's kind of what I think the equivalent is. Maat still kind of puts you in that, it still instills that same level of fear within you every time you face him.
It's like, oh, you've done all this in-game stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Bad.
Does not matter.
I remember preparing to do it for the first time, and I was on Monk. And I was watching videos on YouTube because I knew I was going to watch all these videos and it was going to be fine and I was going to go in and have no problem. So I'm watching these videos and everybody is dying in all the videos I'm watching. Like, none of them actually won. So
and you're like, why would you post this?
Exactly. I was like, how is this helpful? So I finally asked one of my friends who did it, and he was like, okay, so you're going to run in there and you're going to do this and that, and then cross your fingers and hope you beat him up before he beats you up. I was like, really? That's it? Like, I have to hope?
Well, that's just like the White Mage Maat. There's 2 ways that you can do it, and I did it both ways, and I posted both videos. The way a lot of people would go in there and do it is you literally, you stand there and let him beat the shit out of you, and you have to outlast him. And Cure 3s is just not going to get it. Cure 4s are an MP dump.
Yep.
And there was no, well, I think maybe there was Cure 5, I can't even remember, but you had to go in with all this gear, like an earth staff and, you know, bat earrings. You had to blind him. And then the second way, which I totally fucked up, and me being a career White Mage forgets about benediction, and I go in there and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna skill chain light on his ass. Look at me with my awesome red mail. And I go in and I'm like, Hexa Strike, and boom, benediction. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I haven't. Go on.
No, go ahead. No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No. Continue. Sorry.
It took me 3 tries to do White Mage.
That leads on to mine as well, then. I have a confession to make. Everybody knows that Samurai Maat is quite possibly the easiest Maat fight in the game. More specifically now that you've got Sagan and Hasso. But back in the time, you only had one third eye shadow. And it was a savior. It was every minute, and it could really save your life. Next attack, you absorb it. Doesn't do any damage. Could be a multi-hit. It'll absorb it.
It'll absorb weapon scope.
No. Third eye was just a job ability. It could absorb any weapons, like any weapon skill. Like he could unload Azuran fists on you. All 8 of those hits, third eye. I went 1 for 3 on Samurai Maat at level 70. And the reasoning why, I did not know that Blink did not stack with third eye. So I wasted my third eye straight at the beginning of the fight, and he would unleash hell upon me, like the instant I went into the fight. And, just... that testimony was the hardest to farm as well. Only 3 mobs in the entire game dropped it.
When I did it, on Dark Knight, which is my first 75, it was weird because I think it was still kind of new. And do you remember there being, like, all those things like, oh, go in naked, and, you know, because he duplicates your HP, and, like, you know...
Yeah.
Remember that stuff? Yeah, like, so that's what it was, and I was always doing that, and I was wasting time getting all of the equipment on, and, you know, I would get the blink band, I would get all this stuff, and I just sucked. Somebody I knew at the time who had done it said to me she got so scared she actually vomited after she won. And then she even said to me, seriously, she's like, go out, do push-ups, take a jog. She goes, I know how stressful it is. She's like, just go out there and just try to relax. It's going to be fine. And he took me, I think I'm 1 for 7, maybe.
Ooh.
I had a rough time. I had a very rough time with it.
I had to drink the night that I won against Matt.
See, I did it before YouTube, so there were no strategies or anything. My main source of info was Alakazam.
Oh, wow, yeah. Alakazam. Now that's back in the day.
That is back in the day. But you had to drink.
I did. And I was on Skype with Fushi and I think Meanie that night that I won. And I was just completely smoshed when I won. I'm like, fuck yeah, I won finally. But I mean, I think that's why I went back and did other map fights, because White Mage was so uneventful. You just stood there and got your ass kicked, and you had to outlast him.
Everything you did in that game, though, when you finally beat it, it was like an actual accomplishment, and you got so excited.
Mm-hmm.
It felt amazing.
Everything was a hurdle. Everything was a hurdle.
Well, there were some veterans that I knew, like when they would examine me and they had looked me up on the AH, and they're like, "You completed COP?" I'm like, "Yeah." And there were some veterans from the actual launch date that still had not completed COP. So it was a huge accomplishment to have all that stuff done. Like, you could walk around with your head held high. Like, hell yeah.
Yep.
Bitch,
I got
please,
a Thomas
look at
ring.
my Ratchet's ring.
Yeah, I got a Thomas ring, or I got a Sapana Mimi. And, but yeah.
Here's what I need you guys to do. Sit back, relax, close your eyes if you want to, and visualize what you're seeing when you hear this.
I just see the boat.
The what?
Oh, wait. No! Go away, Kraken! Not
For some reason that brings thoughts of the chain of Mithr's dancing. if that has nothing to do with the trip, I could just imagine.
You remember docking and seeing dead bodies?
Oh my god.
Docking for the very first time in Outergon Whitegate.
Yes.
In those early days when people used to take when there was just a horde of people taking that boat, it was fantastic.
You remember getting on the boat and I was thinking it was going to be about the same length of time as the one that goes between Sylvina and Mahara. And I remember sitting there thinking, why is this taking so long? This is taking fucking forever. Did my game crash?
Well, don't you remember that glitch that would take you to Nashma and you'd be there in like 3 seconds?
Yes, that was awesome when you were trying to do iCarry.
And I'm like, why did they get rid of that? Because in 14, that's how the airship rides are. It's instantaneous. It's a cutscene, but you can skip over it. But you're there immediately.
I've never used the airship, actually.
I mean, I remember when Undergone first came out, and it came out in my spring break when I was at college, and it was just fantastic. I'll never forget that first day, just walking in there, and the...
Oh my god, I remember getting there and being like,
this is amazing. Wait, where am I? I'm lost.
What I loved, that's what I loved about, see, if you think about it, you had, when 11 first came out for the US, Zillard came out with it, so we never experienced the game before Zillard, unless you were in the beta. So, after that, a year later, COP comes out. Now, people complained about COP because it didn't they didn't feel it gave you much in lieu of content, like, just sort of like free open areas instead of doing story. And it gave you a substantial amount. But then, Undergone came out, and it's gigantic areas, and so many of them. Like a brand new nation to hang around in, a new base to hang around in.
Do you
it was fantastic.
How empty Juno was after it came out? Nobody was in Juno anymore.
Nobody was in Juno anymore.
And now Juno's packed again.
exactly. And I don't know what made me think of this, but when we went through and did our COP static with Asmo and Kim and Shiro, once we got C access and we were actually trying to finish off COP, we had asked, I think, Vice and one other person to come with us to do the tower climb in C.
Right.
And eventually the whole fucking link shell ended up out there. It was the entire link shell.
Everybody wants C access anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
What a play.
Hey guys, party in Whitegate after this.
Why don't you? Reactivate.
I don't even know if I'd be able to... Don't you only have a certain amount of time to reactivate your content ID before your character, dissipates into nothing?
Well, I thought you did, but,
change.
No, you don't.
I think...
I had a friend on 14
who
hadn't played in 3 years and he reactivated.
I'm
that
pretty
would be
certain
awesome.
it just stays up now.
Right.
Because I deactivated my account December of last year.
Yep.
And then I didn't play it. I didn't reactivate it till about June again of this year. So it must stay up.
Alright, here's the other one.
Oh, Sky! Devil birds and devil pots.
As I said on a previous podcast, I have no memory of my first time in Sky. And I'm going to tell you why. I said this to you last night, Una. I came to Odin in 07. I started the game in 03. I was on Seraph before I came to Odin. I didn't really accomplish much on Seraph. My biggest accomplishment was probably just getting my first 75 and getting Sky. I seriously consider my first real time beginning in 11 when I came to Odin. So I think that's why I have no memory of my first trek into Sky, because it just wasn't a big deal. As far as I was concerned, it was just an EXP area. That was when people XP'd up there. I didn't even know what it was. I had no idea what Sky was.
It was owned by the Chinese back then.
My first real memories and best memories all come out of being on Odin. Nothing on Seraph. Practically nothing.
Odin's the best server, that's why. You should know by now, the best people start on Odin as well. Isn't that right?
It was weird because when I had always said, I had some friends on Seraph, not a lot. I was always fighting with people there. Everyone on Seraph used to be so mean, and no offense to anybody who may be listening who used to be on Seraph, but I always said that, like, for years I'd said, if they ever allow us to switch servers, I'm leaving. So as soon as they did, I jumped. I had a friend who was on Odin, and she's like, she knew I wasn't happy. She goes, yeah, you should come over here, and I can get you in a shell, and, we'll have fun and everything. So I got there, and then she left and didn't tell me. So I was stuck there now, and I didn't know anybody. And somebody from the LBR board saw my name. They said, aren't you on the boards? I said, yeah, I am. And I said, I just kind of got here. I kind of gave them the whole story, and they gave me a pearl to the shell. And they said, you want a pearl? I said, yeah. So I took a pearl, and that's kind of where the whole thing started. I met Argent Lamb. The first day I was there, I met Argent Lamb and Sale, and I was helping Sale with his Limit Break 2. Get his Limit Break 2 items. G2 items. Oh. And I didn't even know Argent Lamb 5 minutes before him and I started calling each other the most vulgar names you could ever think of. Just for fun. So, that's how that whole thing sort of began. And, I don't know when I met Jaredon, or anybody else.
I remember when I met you. I was in an XP party, and I think you were there, but I know Coffee Good was there, and he insisted that I join the link shell.
Right. I don't remember that, though. I remember Coffee Good. Coffee Good came from Sarah, from me. I made him transfer.
Vice has a selective memory.
Coffee Good and Nora were the two who came with me from Sarah.
Nora.
Yeah.
Do you remember his mog house?
I do.
Oh, it was so creepy.
Nora was funny as shit, though. He was so funny. Because he was so awkward, and it just made it so funny.
I really wish I had a screenshot of it, but when you went into his mog house, you remember, like, the little snowmen and, like, the creepy little dolls on the stand that they had for furnishings? Well, he had those in a circle around the rug in the middle of the room, and he'd sit down and have, like, little tea parties with them and shit. It was so weird.
I could ask him if he has a screenshot of it. He's still on Skype.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You can't see me right now, but my mouth is kind of open in shock. It's like, that's creepy.
God, I remember counting up how much money I spent on furnishings one time, and it was an obscene amount of money.
You bought me so many fish tanks.
Ooh, it's the airship.
Oh, I love the airship thing. It's a shame more people don't use that.
Getting on that airship was a huge accomplishment. When you got that airship pass, you felt so good.
Oh, getting the airship pass to Kazan was a pain in the ass.
You didn't feel that you were handicapped anymore, Remember getting your Kazan key?
Oh, Kazan keys. They were fun. They took so long.
Do you know, I remember my most significant memory of Juno is getting there and trying to get your Chocobo license and raising that Chocobo, and I remember going into the cutscene and seeing the baby Chocobo. I just fucking lost it. My God, it's so cute! I want one!
My first time I went to Juno, I was level 4, and I decided I was just going to run and see how far I could get. So I got all the way to Juno, and like an idiot, I set my home point there, and then I couldn't get back. I had to pay somebody to walk me back to Winders.
Oh, I've had that happen many times in different areas. Dunes.
No.
Foolishly set my home point down there, and if I tried to walk back to Sandoria as level 10, I could never do it. And this is before they put the Moogles in Selbina, because the Moogles weren't always there.
Nope.
And it was the worst.
But it was groundbreaking when they actually did put the Moogles in. They're like, yeah, you can finally do that now. It's awesome.
It took them so long to do that, but everybody was still just so excited it was there that nobody cared that it took so long.
Mm-hmm. Let's say my first home in the Dunes, somebody told me, did you get the outpost warp? Like, do you have the outpost warp? I'm like, the wada? Because I died and there was nobody there to raise me. And so I had to home point back to Bastock, and they're like, well, just outpost warp. I'm like, huh? And so I had to walk from Bastock all the way to the dunes. And looking back on it now, I didn't, at the time, I didn't think it was really a big deal because I didn't know about the outpost warps, and I figured everybody had to do it. So I'm like, it's cool, you know. But now that I sit and think about it, it's like, I was such a noob, and I felt so embarrassed when I finally realized that I was holding them up way longer than I should have, and I'm like, oh my god.
Cringeworthy.
That was a long walk, especially if you were coming from Winders and had to take the boat first. It took you like half an hour to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I never wanted to start in Winders. I don't know how the fuck you guys did that.
Once I got out to the dunes, I just stayed there. I didn't go back. I waited until I was finished and just stayed there.
Yep.
Ditto, but even though I was from Sandy.
Alright, here's one. This is a favorite. Good old Roland Berry.
Aww.
Man.
Fucking,
No?
You know the only thing that comes to mind? Sim.
I spent so much time out there farming crawlers.
Fucking Sim.
All of the bazaars were out there, remember that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
now they're all went up at Juneau.
They put all the bazaars just outside of Juneau.
Mm-hmm.
It was to avoid the tax, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was like a 10% tax on anything, so put something up for
Ellie,
100K, you pay 110.
You used to just you used to go bazaar shopping for like hours and just find all this random shit.
I would.
Did anybody ever get a chance to see somebody trying to zone Sim, and he attacked all the people out there bazaring?
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like one of my first times out in Juneau and whatnot, and Roger, or Hagen from Eight-Legged Freaks, he's like, yeah, come here, I want to show you something. And there was people who were attacking Sim, and they weren't going to make it, so they tried to haul ass to the zone, like flee to the zone. And Sim was attacking them. He actually, and I've done it before. I've walked him all the way to Juneau Zone. And he just started MBKing all these fucking bazaars out there. And I mean, there were so many pissed people. Oh my god.
God.
All right, here. So since you mention it, here you go. I'll throw you a bone.
Aww.
There was something very serene about hearing it. Like, if you were running from, like, a raptor in Sarmog, or, like, a goblin in Metalia or Rollberry, as soon as you heard that music, you knew it was going to be okay.
It's true, you were like, yes,
I zoned.
it's safe.
Huh?
It was that instantaneous feeling of being safe as soon as you heard that
Exactly. Yep, you were totally fine, and although this does kind of carry a bad memory for me. You know where I'm going, right?
I know where you're going.
So, alright. So this is 2000. I'm very good with years. This is like 2004. Leveling Dark Knight. Dark Knight is maybe like 55-ish. Now, if you guys leveled Dark Knight in the past, 55 as a level was a big deal. That's when you get your first badass-looking scythe, and, you know, you can wear the Royal Knight's chainmail, and, like, everything you have changes, pretty much. You know, pretty much everything. So I'm XPing. I don't remember where I am. But as soon as I hit 55, the group that I'm with, the party began to fall apart very quickly. Like, you know, too many mobs, links, and everybody was dying, and I began to panic, because I literally just hit 55, and I had no buffer XP yet. Okay? So, the Black Mage is, like, furiously D2ing as many people out as they can. So, they D2 me. My home point is Lower Juneau, at the back, at the home point crystal. I had, like, Bio 2 on me, and my HP was at, like, 150. no buffer XP. So I begin to freak out. I begin running. Now I'm subbing Warrior, I don't have Thief yet, so I can't use Flee. I begin to run to the Mog House. And, because this bio was taking my HP down very fast. So I'm running and running and running, and right as I reach the auction house, I die. I finally succumb to the bio. I die. I de-level, and all my gear falls off.
That's painful.
It's the
Every
most
single time you
embarrassing
tell
thing
me
ever to die.
Well, I can tell you some pretty bad ones. I mean, that's light compared to this other one. Remember back in the days when people would shout for help with everything? They may not do it as much now.
How it always is?
Well, they don't do it as much now, because you don't have the wiki or anything like that.
Ah, yes.
Maybe that's the wiki back in. So, I was shouting for my first limit break. Okay.
I know where this is going as well.
So, I'm getting very frustrated, because I can't find anybody to help me. And I'm shouting for like an hour straight, and nobody's answering me. I'm using the auto-translate. I'm like, everybody understands me. I'm not getting a single response. So somebody from this link shell that I'm in at the time, it was called On a Pale Horse, sends me a message in linkshell and says, "Hey Vice, you trying to get Limit Break 1 done?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Can you help me?" He goes, "Do you have anybody yet?" I said, "No, I don't have a soul." And he says, "I think I know why." I was like, "Why?" And he says, "Nobody knows what limit breads and rice is." For an hour, I'm shouting limit breads and rice 1, help me out.
Oh,
nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. You think they could even like figure that out? You know?
What about the teleporting?
The what?
The teleport whores?
I remember when teleporting used to cost 500 gil.
Yeah, and then people started getting greedy. All the White Mage. And see, it pays to be a kind-hearted soul, because this poor guy was shouting in Whitegate for I think it was a teledem. It's like one of the first cracks. And nobody would give him one unless he paid like 5 or 10K. So I'm like, dude, Jesus. You know what? Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'll take you. No charge. Whatever. He says, okay. So, and it was a cute little Taru. And I teleported him, and he says, hold on a minute, and he sends me a trade. I'm like, I told you, don't worry about it, it's 1K, it's no big deal. He's like, no, just accept the trade. I said, okay. He gives me 100K.
I had that happen. I got 50K for teleporting someone one time.
Yeah, he gave me 100K, and I'm like, dude, seriously, it's not that big of a deal. He's like, no, you were nice enough to take me, to teleport me.
Take me, you White Mage.
Take me, you ravishing White Mage.
Boost me, you brilliant bug.
Oh, God.
That being said, Roger tried to tell me, he's like, if you're going to level White Mage, you're going to start teleporting. That's how a lot of White Mages make their money. In order to do that, you're going to have to level Black Mage to at least get, the warp. And I'm like, no, I fucking hate Black Mage, no. And he's like, well, then what are you going to do? Well, what I've been doing. And I found out why I didn't have any conquest points, because what I would do is I would stand in Juno, and I would teleport these people, and I would use my conquest points for instant warp scrolls.
Oh.
See, I knew I was never going to level White Mage, because I did all the teleport quests, scroll quests, and I sold them.
Same here.
But I'm a White Mage on 14.
And
that still weirds me out.
Yeah, it does me too. But
I don't use them.
Televaz used to cost 100K on the auction house. I had tried to get it. I had a couple of friends who offered to take me down there and pop the chest or whatever to get it. But they left me down there, and I died. And they said, we're tired, we're just going to log out, we can't find it, bye. And they left me there. So...
Let me ask you... Oh, sorry, go on.
So... This guy was shouting in Juno for a televazzle, and no one had it. There was one on the auction house. He says, if I buy it for you, will you take me? I said, oh my God, dude, that's $100K. Back then, to me, that was a lot of money. It's like, no, it's no big deal. So, yeah.
Okay, so since you were a White Mage, why is it that when people wanted to teleport, how come, like, teleport Vazel had to cost more than Hollow? What was the difference?
There is no difference. Other than the quest, there really was no difference. I mean, a crag is a crag.
Right. Why did you guys charge more money for that? I don't understand.
No.
I always wondered that too.
Don't lump me up with all the other stupid people.
Well, no, but I'm not saying you did it, but I thought maybe you'd know why.
Really, just they're greedy bitches. That's really all there is to it. I mean, there was no difference. If you're going to level a job, you need to know what you're getting yourself into, like Black Mage. Those Black Mage spells were expensive as fuck. And if you didn't want to hand out, like, $400K to get Warp 2, then you had to go through the painstaking task of going through the prerequisites and then doing the god-awful, time-consuming, and they're like, oh, we'll just make our money back by teleporting. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, seriously, you can make more money teleporting people for 1,000 gil a pop, rather than saying, no, I'm not taking you for anything less than 5.
But why was it that the White Mages charged money for a warp, but for a teleport, but the Black Mages didn't charge a nickel for the D2s?
I don't know.
Because D2 wasn't as popular.
Well, this is also true. It wasn't as popular.
That's the only reason why?
Pretty much.
I'm telling you.
How many
those
times...
fucking White Mages are greedy as shit.
I think another reason they got away with it is because for a D2, you're already done with whatever it is you were doing. You can walk back, it's not a big deal. But if you're looking for a teleport, it's probably because you're trying to hurry to get somewhere.
And they figure they can just make a quick buck.
And and there was always that one job that you knew you weren't going to level, so if you wanted to, like, go back to your home point or whatever, just switch to a level 1 job and just go get yourself killed. And then blood warp back. But yeah. But see, Black Mages made up for it by retracing.
Oh, right. Yes. Retrace.
They made up for it by retracing, but then White Mages also come back with the teleporting to the crystals in the past.
And then you had to recall Jugner.
Mm-hmm. All the recalls. But all in all, and that's one of the reasons why I have both Black Mage and White Mage level, because at no point do I need to shout for any of that, because I have everything at my disposal with both jobs leveled.
That's pretty much why I went into White Mage as well at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Elisen.
So, before I bring this dog and pony show to a close, there is one thing I need to bring up. Ellie, how do you feel about painting?
Oh, God, are we really going to talk about that? Do we really want to do that? You're going to have, like, another 45 minutes of me ranting. I fucking hate painting. It's the worst thing ever invented. Why would anybody do that?
A couple weeks ago, Elisen and I had what I consider, at least at this point in my life, the greatest conversation I've ever had with somebody. She's an artist, I'm an artist. We both collectively agree that painting just is horrible, and how we can't do it.
It's such a boring form of art.
We had like a good 2 or 3 hour long discussion about how much we hate painting.
The thing that you said that just killed me was when you said, I don't care, like, if I have a bit of black paint on that brush, I could dip that thing in bleach for like a week. But the second I put that brush to canvas, it's going to come out black.
It's true, and it fucking gets everywhere. Like, if you have a paintbrush that you've painted something black with at any point in its existence, that paintbrush is always going to be black. You might as well just fucking throw it away.
Or at least reserve that brush for black.
We watch Bob Ross and get so angry.
Oh, my God.
I think Bob Ross is full of shit.
I don't understand. Like, he takes that fucking scalpel-looking thing and just, like, beats it against the canvas, and suddenly he's got a fucking tree. That's not how it works. That doesn't happen.
and before any paint even hits the canvas, I'm already covered in it. And I've already fucked up like 3 colors because I've mixed paint together accidentally. And like I said, if any paint at all comes into contact with that white, everything just goes to hell.
The thing is I don't even just hate painting. I hate anybody who can paint. Like, I hate them. And fucking watercolor paints, like the little shitty ones you got as a kid in, like, elementary school. Those didn't do anything. I just had wet paper.
Oh, you guys are a trip.
What about Crayola Jumbo crayons?
Oh, I hate those things. I went to like 5 stores and never found them. And then I ended up ordering them online and paying like $30 for a fucking vintage box of crayons.
I'm telling you right now, I could have the smallest brush, like a pencil-thin brush. The moment that thing touches the canvas, it's a gigantic, thick streak of paint. And as soon as I use the paint thinner to take it off, I've now made this gigantic smear all over the canvas. And every time you had, I didn't bring this up, every time you had a rag to dip that paint thinner in, the rag was already covered in paint from somebody's other use. And that paint would come off the rag and go onto the canvas. And it was always brown.
It always made it, like, so much worse than it was when you started out. Like, you probably could have painted over the streak, but now the whole thing is ruined.
You guys can sympathize, right?
I can.
Oh, I think so.
Man, I hated painting as a kid.
I said, if I ever commit a serious crime in my entire life, and I have to like spend life in prison, if you want to really torture me more, you would make me paint. No joke.
That's quite a bit of rage for painting pent up there.
It's worst.
Drawing, it's fine. Painting, no.
And before I end this, I do want to know who in here is going to be playing 14. That is already.
I've got invite. I'm already playing.
Fuck you! What now? Got to tell you.
You and I, Amarant, are going to have words later.
I'll let you know how it's going.
Yeah, you do that. You do that. Tell me how my fist feels in your face after that, too. Yuna, Ellie?
Yes. I fully intend to play.
Both of you?
Uh-huh.
I will at some point. I know I've said that, but I actually will at some point.
Ellie, it doesn't work. Telling them that you will eventually does not work. They will stay on you and on you and on you.
Oh, I know.
I know. We got some nerve, too.
How dare you? I'm just thinking back to the last reunion we had, and you sent me the MP3 files. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen to all this.
So strategy.
And the first thing I hear is Vice and Tyso. And Tyso's like, well, I don't really want to make this sound like a 14 sales pitch, but... And I'm like, those bastards were planning this from the beginning!
Yep.
And Vice is like,
what do you think, we're stupid?
Oops, I forgot. I had that in there, actually. I forgot I was recording.
Absolutely, yep. And it worked.
Yeah, but I had always intended on playing. It's just that, you know.
I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, stop it. Stop. Just stop.
But anyway, for anybody listening who would like to see anything by anybody else, I gotta put this on screen, but what is this? Halidar's Twitter account at twitter.com/HILI_37.
ALI. Okay.
And then your YouTube account, which is youtube.com/MrMR Carebear. KHAIRBEAR. Again, I'll have this all on screen. And of course, Yunaspirit's Twitter, what is this? The YouTube account. youtube.com/SummonerYuna21. And I've got Amarant's YouTube account. youtube.com/MrBiomechanist. What does that mean?
Biomechanist.
Biomechanist. Well.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Well,
I went to school today.
Well, I was trying to come up with a new name.
I thought it said biochemist for a second. Mr. Biomechanist. There we go.
I was just trying to come up with a new sort of Xbox/YouTube style sort of name thing. And,
yeah.
I just couldn't come up with one. And at the time, my friends were talking to me about my uni course, and I was telling them how much I really love biomechanics, which is like the physics of how we move and stuff within sport. And they're like, "Oh, won't you call yourself like biomechanic or something like that?" And so it just pretty much came out from there.
A little history too. I myself am on Twitter at twitter.com/Fomor FOMOR_Viceroy. I should mention the ChocoVlogBlogVidCast one, even though it's not really updated, but I should update it now. Just twitter.com/ChocoVlogBlogVidCast, and any emails can be sent to the real ChocoVlogBlogVidCast@gmail.com. None of you fake ChocoVlogBlogVidCast.
Damn you fake
ChocoVlogBlogVidCast. And then what is it? The forums. ChocoVlogBlogVidCast.omgforum.net. I had to get that URL. It was just fantastic. But I'd suggest anybody who wants to contact us to definitely send out those emails. I love to read emails and answer them in a very strange and bizarre way. So. Next time, Ellie, when Jaredon's on, I'll get to the rest of your email.
Okay.
I didn't because you told me not to open it until I do the next thing, so I opened it, and he wasn't on, so I didn't realize that it was kind of addressed to the two of us.
That's alright.
So. Next time he's on, whenever the fuck that is, I'll read it again. So, alright, well, that's gonna be that. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. See you now.
Try to say bye.
Mr. Dog.